where the drinks stay spitting. Views going wild like a monkey gone rogue, running his own lane in a circus of smoke. Guido hit the eject, dipped out the scene. Jimmy steered the chaos, kept it lean and mean, no co-pilot needed. He thrives in the clash, controversies, the stash, raking views with a dash. Madness on the mic, sipping truth like it's gin. Every episode's a fight, who's the champ of the spin? Randoms on the stool, spill tales from the void. Jimmy plays the villain, but the people stay buoyed. Solo flight, no wingman, just the heat. Questions unscripted, got him squirming the seat. Joe Rogan whispers, but Jimmy got roar. Clickbait machetes hacking straight to the core. Bar feels alive when the topics get steamy. Listeners keep clicking saying this fool's dreamy. Drama be the fuel, chaos be the plan. Welcome to the Madhouse, hosted by one madman.
The old intro was way better.
Podcast is a wrestling ring. Jimmy's the champ.
I don't like it.
Get grilled under the ring light lamp.
I started messing with it last night. We were sitting in the garage, and we came up with a little, like, couple verse one. It was kind of cool. I was like, we're about to be in the new podcast. We're about to be the new permanent.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. We're live. We haven't been live for a while, and we hit the front page this morning, so I figure we might as well go ahead and go live. For those of you who don't know, we got raided for having machines downstairs, and they came in and took the machines. Apparently, they're illegal. I've been told forever that they're not really illegal. You got to pay with gift cards, but I wasn't paying with gift cards, and they caught me paying cash, so that's what happened. So that was pretty extreme. They had a lot of cops come in and kind of went through everything, and a little stressful. But at any rate, we're going on air. Today is about masculinity, and I've got a special guest for us today. It's Owen's wife, Christy.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Christy is going to tell us why we're wrong, I think.
Not necessarily. No. I got two views on all things, so we'll go with one and the other.
You got two views on everything?
Yeah, there's always two sides to every story.
But that doesn't mean it's yours specifically.
Not necessarily just mine, no. We'll go with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I can understand both sides if I get a good feedback on both sides. I can understand both sides of a story.
Yeah. I feel like there's a missing masculinity. And then you get the world who's talking about toxic masculinity. But I feel like masculinity is missing in the world today. That's how I feel. I think that that's a big part of the problem. I mean, I grew up in a time where, my dad was, you know what I mean? He was a construction worker, so maybe a little more blue collar than somebody who had a white collar father. But right. I mean, like Scotty Campana, his dad wasn't all that different. I mean, he obviously made more money and worked harder and things like that than my old man did. But, I mean, their basic morals and masculine and the way they handled their family unit seemed to be pretty much on the same tier, the same level. Mm-hmm. And now I don't feel like men just don't, they're just not, fixing the brakes. They're not, taking care of their stuff. They're not taking ahead of the pipe. I remember when I was a kid, my grandma was a guy named Joe Destro after my grandfather died. Mm-hmm. And Joe Destro owned Avon Cleaners and Menswear in Avon. And I would go and talk with him. Interesting guy. I always liked him. He was a businessman, you know what I mean? Been in business his whole life. Okay. He used to have 3 different dry cleaners at one time, and he would do deliveries back when dry cleaning, he talks about the washing wear. Okay. Of course, he's gone today, but he talks how washing wear killed his business, which at my age, I'm only 51, mm-hmm. but at my age, washing wear, I never heard washing wear because clothes, you just washed them and wore them. That's just how it was. Yeah. But apparently that was a time when washing wear came out because they used to dry clean everything. So he talked about how it ruined it. But anyways, I would talk to him, and I remember he was telling me, well, you only do this on your income. That's on you. It's not on her. He was very he had his roles were locked, and he did not mess around with them. I mean, and he wasn't a masculine guy, muscular or nothing. He was a little guy.
Right.
But he believed in his role, her role. You know what I mean? He was
Right.
he was strong in his beliefs in it, and I think we're missing a lot of that today.
Okay.
And I think women can benefit from being in those roles also. I think it's a good thing for them.
To be what, more independent and masculine, like in masculine roles, or is that what you're talking about?
No, that's not what I'm
No,
talking
okay.
about.
I'm good. Sitting here like,
No, I don't want women running around with their own scrotums. I don't want that.
No. See, that's where we're getting a disconnect here, because like we're saying masculinity as like what you just mentioned. Like, no, that's not what I consider it. Like when I consider masculine for a female, it like hyper masculinity for me means you're hyper independent. Like I've been through the stage where I've had to do everything for myself. Like I was single. I wasn't expecting to just go find a man to do it for me. Like in a relationship, if that makes sense. Like there are things that, yeah, I need a man for. Like I would call my brother-in-law all the time if I needed like my drain like unclogged or whatever. But like brakes, things like that, of course, like I'll call somebody, I'll have somebody fix it. I paid someone to cut my grass because I just didn't want to. Not that I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not the fact like my hyper masculinity for me in that stage, it was a trauma response. Because
Wait, so you feel like you're masculine?
not anymore. Not anymore. Like when I was single, like I feel like I had to do all the things mentally, physically, financially, sexually, all by myself because I didn't need a man at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But why did you feel that way? Like, I don't need a man. Like, what made you even feel that way?
okay, so a lot of women I feel depend on a man to provide or to like do things that I don't know. I'm not really talking about like chores or anything like that. It's like when you're single and you have to provide for yourself, a lot of men use I provide for you as a control factor. Like I pay the bills, I work this, I bought you this. If you take away that control where you didn't buy me anything, you didn't buy me shit, I bought my own stuff, bought my own house, I do my own financial needs along with sexual needs, mental needs, spiritual needs, anything that I can do by myself, I'm taking away control from
But men could do that too. Men could go, okay, I'm going to just take care of myself and not allow women involved in the whole thing.
Of course. But masculinity
Saves them a lot of money,
right?
and they just do their own thing, and they do
Right.
whatever they want, whenever they want.
Of course. But when a man comes up to you 9 times out of 10, let me buy you a drink. Oh, I bought you a drink. Why aren't you talking to me all night? I've seen it in this bar. I've seen men come up to a woman and be like, oh, well, I just bought you 3 drinks. Why are you talking to another dude? 'Cause
But
the
see,
fuck
I don't feel like
can.
that's masculinity. I feel like that's an asshole. That's just an asshole.
And people use masculinity as to be an asshole. Like masculinity to me is not like a control, a demand. That's the opposite. Like you're not being a real man. You're an asshole. Like you
Correct.
said.
I agree.
Like you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
to be honest
yeah.
with you.
That's what I would. That's my whole argument.
And
yeah.
I feel like people use that as, oh, I'm a man. No, you're not. You're an asshole. You're a piece of shit.
Because you bought a drink?
Because you flash your money. You flash, what can I do for you? What can I provide for you? But it's not like you're coming up to a woman and be like, hey, you look nice tonight. Can I talk to you? Like, men don't know how to be men. Like, they don't know how, like, in some cases.
Some of that has to do with the internet. They don't know how
Right.
to, like...
They don't know how to approach a woman.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how to be respectful most times. I've cussed out dudes here multiple times. For
Well,
the way
some of that has to be drunk, too, right?
I mean, it starts off like a decent, hey, you're not drunk yet, but by the end of the night, like, I've many times here.
But that's somebody drinking, right? Like, sober
Yeah.
people don't walk up to you and just...
No, that's not true.
Oh, really?
Oh, not true at all. Like, it doesn't matter where they're at. It's a power thing. Like, if somebody comes in with like a suit, tie, just flashing money, flashing this, I can do this for you. I don't need you to do that for me. That's from my opinion, like for what I've built for myself. Now, I guess where I fell softer for, like, I don't know, getting into a relationship, because it took me forever, was my husband here. Like, the most kind, gentle man I've ever met is not in my face and aggressively being like, oh, you need to do this and da-da-da-da. That man's never told me what I could and could not do. And I've watched men here bitch out their girls because they want to spend time with their girlfriends. Freak out, leave mad because, like, that to me is a toxic masculinity.
See, I don't feel like that's masculinity because I've seen women do the same thing.
It's wild though.
That's just assholes. That's just that women do the same thing. There's no difference between that and what like that whole like insecurity is what you're talking about.
Sure.
That's insecurity and has nothing to do with masculinity.
That's what I think people confuse masculinity for. Is insecurity, assholism, like, I'm a masculinity, I'm man, I'm this, I'm gonna do what I want.
Right.
Hit my chest. To me, yes, it's a complete disconnect, but that's what some people think masculinity is. I'm gonna control a situation, I'm gonna abuse my wife, I'm gonna cheat on her 5,000 times, but I'm a man and you're gonna do what I say. Like, that to me is
there's nothing to do with masculinity. That's just an asshole.
Right.
That's just like a piece of shit. That's just a piece of shit. And women can be pieces of shit too.
Sure.
They do the same.
Absolutely.
Like, especially when you're talking about that coming in here, like throwing fits about, you know, you being in a bar. That's we've had that happen with multiple. We've had women come in and just slap the shit out of their husband. Like, literally, it happened. There was a guy sitting at the bar, and his wife came in and just slapped the living shit out of him.
Oh yeah, that's wild.
It was pretty wild.
I mean, there's two sides to every story, but I mean, I'm not the type to just go off and haul off and hit somebody.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just not like I'm not. See, I'm different, I guess. I'm just not that person. I'm never going to try and tell anybody what to do. Mm-hmm. See, to me, a man provides for his family, takes care of his family, and leads his family. Mm-hmm. Leading is definitely part of masculinity, in my opinion. Okay. I feel like leading the family is part of the masculinity. Okay. That doesn't mean that she has no say in anything. I'm not saying that. But I think that you should lead for sure where you want things to go and where you want. I mean, I think that's important, and I think that's a strong. It's good for everybody to be strong with their convictions. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With everything. I think that's never a bad idea because being wishy-washy never works for anybody. I mean, it leaves you open to suggestion from everyone else around you. Right. You know what I mean? So I think it's always important to do that. But I also don't, like, if you talk to Amanda, she has never called me and said she wanted to spend money on something. I was like, oh no, you're not doing that. That's just usually not the case. I mean, unless there's just no money there for it or something. I mean, that's different. I mean, that's a whole nother, like, if there's no money, there's no money. But I don't pay attention. I mean, I remember years ago, because men and women will spend money on totally different things. Right. You know what I mean? And we don't agree with what you spend money on, and you don't agree with what we spend money on, and that's just the way it'll always be. I mean, it's real. Women and men are different. It's real, and nobody wants to admit it, and nobody wants to agree with it. But if we're different, then we should have our roles, and and that's how I feel about it. I mean, honestly, I knew you before Owen. I knew Owen before you. I'll tell you what, I like the two of you together way better than I liked you separate. And I liked you separate just fine, but together, I think you guys are amazing.
Definitely. He hit my soft spot because like I said, I was single. I did what I wanted for 3 years. There was nobody going to tell me what I could and couldn't do. And then it wasn't the fact that I needed him. And that's what it came down to. I never wanted to need another man because I had to rebuild myself.
Well, I think that's a shitty person if they go for a man because they just need him.
Well, that's the thing. That's a lot of the world now. That's a lot of relationships. It's, what can this person do for me?
See, I don't see it that way. I see all these men sitting at home playing video games, and the women are paying the bills.
Well, that's the thing. He needs her because he's lazy and he's a piece of shit and he's sitting at home playing video games all day, not providing, like you're mentioning, the masculinity portion of the relationship. Right. And he's needing a place to stay. He's needing nurturing from a woman. And I'm not going to talk money, who makes more, who's this and that and this. But like you said, when he came and he told me, basically he gave me a reason not to need him, but to want him, to want to be in a relationship again. Because like I said, 3 years of being single, you learn to do it all by yourself.
So you were in a relationship up until 3 years ago? Or 3 years prior to meeting Owen?
3 years prior to meeting Owen, I was with somebody for 6 years, and then obviously shit went sour. Wasn't,
You weren't married though, right? I
was never married.
Okay.
He had kids, and I stayed with him for 6 years, but I was at a point in my life where I felt like I needed him. Not like him, but a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Because I was working. I've always worked, but I always thought you're being faithful. You're putting everything into a relationship because you're supposed to. You go to the extremes regardless. But if not, the
Oh
other
no,
person's
not if he doesn't have a ring on it.
right, and especially if he's not willing to do that for the future. Like, so you start to think, what do you do for yourself? You know, you're providing for his kids, you're helping out with his kids. I basically became a living babysitter.
Yeah, see, I feel like if he's not willing to put a ring on it, I think that's a big problem that women have, is that they give more than they should.
For sure.
When they're not giving what they should.
Right.
And that's how I feel about it. I mean, that's like, I remember it was hesitant for me with getting married, not because of Amanda. I loved Amanda amazingly, wanted to be with Amanda. But I remember I reached a point where I'm like, you know, I ask a lot of her. I probably need to put a ring on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So that to me, that's an ignorance on a woman's part to give that much to somebody who's not giving to them.
And I can definitely say, like, back 29, when I was 29 to 35 is when I was dating him, and I just thought, you know, this is what a relationship is. You put in 100%. You take care of, like, what the situation is. You take care of household things. Like I said, we both worked, but, you know, I was always the disciplinary because he didn't seem to give a shit about his kids. And I mean, he could have, but he just maybe didn't show it. But I made sure their homework was done. I made sure they ate. I made sure they brushed their teeth, showered daily. Like, you know, I mean, you might have worked second shift, but then you'd come home and party till 5 o'clock in the morning, then sleep all day the next day. And it's like, well, if we're supposed to be a family-oriented kind of relationship, let's get up. Let's go to the park. Let's get these kids moving and get them off the video games. And all he did was lay around, you know?
Well, see, I don't, my wife does that shit too, you know, so that going in the park and shit as a family every day, that's ridiculous.
Every day, but like, get outside. Like,
well, no, go outside, but I mean, you don't have, like,
not every day.
When I was a kid, there's this thing now where we have to entertain our kids, and it drives me nuts. Like, everybody wants to entertain their kids. When I was a kid, our parents said, get the fuck out of my face.
And that's the
Get
thing.
out of here while grown folks are talking. Get away from me. You know, that's how it was. And we were fine. It was great. It was wonderful.
Get on your bike and go from
I didn't want to be around them anyways.
Right.
I mean,
go outside.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was growing up. And it's like, and now we always feel like we have to entertain them. We have to take them to, you know, we have to take them to the trampoline park, or we have to take them to Kalahari. We have to do them. And if we're not doing those things, we feel like we're bad parents. And that's not right. That's not, you know, you got to teach your kids how to be an adult, not have fun.
Sure.
That's all your job as a parent is to teach your kid how to be the best adult they can be. And that is your end goal. Everything else is sugar on it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a man's role, to teach his boys how to be a boy.
For sure.
And moms are there. They you know, you need your mom. They're soft. And I was raised by a single mother.
Okay.
Well, somewhat single. She was lesbian.
Oh, okay.
So I was raised with her most of my life. Up until like I was 12, I had a stepdad or whatever. He wasn't a whole lot, like, he wasn't real masculine. He was into sports and stuff, but he wasn't like, he didn't work or anything hardly. He did get a job, I think, towards the end. I don't know. He was a goofy guy. But anyways.
So masculinity, like he has to, like, what do you portray? Just somebody who's just down in the dirt all the time, like nitty gritty, hands are rough, like more than blue collar, but, you know.
No, you don't have to be blue collar to be masculine.
Okay.
I don't feel that way. No, not at all. But that's what I just said earlier. It's like Scotty's dad and my dad, their outtake on family and life and how to raise their kids was very, very similar.
Right.
Even though they were both in such opposite ends of the spectrum. But it was more defined back then.
Okay.
That's the key. Like, back then it was defined. Like, you knew what your job and role was. And now all of a sudden they've opened it up and taken, you know, they've taken it to the, and in all fairness, I think there's more jobs out. So you kind of need, it's not like women went in a workplace because that's just, they're taking men's jobs. That's what people believe.
Right.
I believe that there's more jobs and you just need both working too at the same time.
Right.
That being said, I think that we shouldn't be working for the same wages that the man was working for 20 years ago. That's a whole nother issue, but that's what's going on. I mean, people are, your bills are set, say, for whatever it is. You know, it used to be in the 90s, if your wife went to work, you guys could live a good life.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Now you and your wife go to work to pay the bills.
To struggle.
Right. And that's not the way it should be. That's just not the way it should be, especially if you're taking time away from your kids, away from your family.
You're still paying for child support, child care, you know, like daycare is what I mean by that. But like, you're like, if you have to have two people working, you still have to pay for daycare, or if you are lucky enough to have somebody to help you. But yeah, you're basically paying your second income to pay childcare now, because it's $900 a week most times.
Yeah, that's insanity.
It's insanity. So you're basically working to pay your childcare, and then the other person is still trying to struggle with home bills and
part of that too is that I think that grandparents need to help a little more. I think that happened back then, like in the 90s when you were having, two parent, like your grandparents. Well, you go to your grandparents while they were working, or things like that went on. That people were a little more helpful instead of within the family.
If you have it.
If you have it, yeah. Right. I mean, but I don't know that that's not happening, but I see it here. I definitely see, like, I know Azaree's mom takes her daughter, or when she's here, or if she works late or whatever. Sometimes I know her mom has her. I know that. But it happens, and I think that helps out. That's enormous.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's huge, but it's the single women that they're helping out. They don't help the family units. It don't seem like
for sure. For sure. I mean,
because once you're a family unit, everybody figures you got your shit together.
We're all helping the single units, I feel like.
That's the other thing. Now, how do you? Now you're a woman that works, and you're a nurse, right?
I am not a nurse. I am an X-ray tech by trade. I work. Basically,
X-ray tech. Okay.
Yes, I'm an X-ray tech by trade, but I work in the cath lab, so I'm considered a cardiovascular technologist now.
Okay.
Because of my experience and my training, on-the-job training, so that expelled me to a different area.
I think I built that cath lab.
You know what's funny? You did, because I met one of your. I think Jake is one of your employees.
No. I work for Jake. Jake works for the company I do the work for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jake was like top guy, foreman guy, like awesome. Like he was super nice, and
I've known his dad since I first got in the trades years and years ago.
It's funny because, like, I mean, obviously married, but like when I first started there and I seen him bumming around, I'm like, oh, he's a type. You know what I'm saying? Like before I was with my husband, I was like, oh yeah.
You like short guys?
No, not even that. Like, okay, we're not gonna say that, but like he was super nice, super cute. Like he was like very pretty, like a very pretty eyes, and like just nice to look at. But he was like rugged, and he was like doing his work and everything. And then like my boss too even said it. She's like, oh, look at him, and I'm like, we just laugh because every time we walk by, we'd be like, Jake's here. But like I said, he's just like one of those things that I can say masculine, like you want to go back to masculinity, very masculine, but very kind, very nice. Like he doesn't portray himself as, Mr. Buff or Mr. Mean guy.
See, I think kind and mean that's different than has anything to do with masculinity. Things, I don't think it does.
I do. I think when people think they're masculine, they just come off as like a real douche. Like they want to puff their chest up.
I don't think that people that are masculine sit around thinking they're masculine.
That's the thing. There's people
think so.
That are not masculine. They're not portraying masculinity, but they think they are because they think puffing up their chest and being some rugged guy is what women think is masculine. And what I was going to say to that is it's the opposite. Like it's the complete opposite for me to see a masculine man that can actually be in a soft era, if that makes sense. Like not soft like they can't handle themselves, but soft, gentle, kind, because you still have to have the balance of masculinity versus not a douchebag. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm not explaining it right.
I mean, to some degree, I guess I see what you're saying, but my problem is that I see too many women that want men to be weak.
No.
So that they can be strong, and it doesn't work that way. No. You either, if you're trying to be this strong person, then you have to step into that's what it is. That's what we do as strong people.
Yeah.
We make decisions, we move on, you know what I mean? And that's just, to me, masculinity is nothing to do with where you work, none of that stuff. It has to do with your family core, your beliefs, your where you sit. And, I memean, obviously when it comes to women and men, I feel men should take that lead role, and I think that women should appreciate it sometimes, you know what I mean? I think that's, I'm not saying like you said something about, they hold it over your head. I'm not saying hold it over your head, but I mean, appreciate it a little bit.
Oh, for sure. But
I mean, why not? What's wrong with appreciating it?
Yeah, but do you feel like a role for a man is strictly just to provide?
I know that, I'm a unique person because everybody thinks I should provide for them. Like everybody comes to me trying to get stuff from me. My whole family thinks it's my responsibility anytime something goes on.
So you put that on your shoulders anyway.
I don't try to.
But
I've tried to be an ignorant fuck up most of my life, but for some reason they still don't believe me.
They still put their faith in you, Jimmy. They have all the faith in you, right? Well, okay, so
The problem is my family's so bad that even as an ignorant fuck up, I'm doing a little
they still
better.
rely on you, right? I'm an ignorant fuck up, but I'm still providing. But no, I don't know. I just feel like it keeps going back to a providing situation. And in that situation, like, yeah, you're still doing it, but like you said, like, people could probably help out a little more in that sense. Like, you want your kids to be independent. You want your kids to be able to not rely on you for those things. But in your role right now, you still think, I need to be a provider for everybody because they're relying on me too.
No, I don't see masculinity as providing as much as you do, I don't think.
Okay, because I think that's where we're disconnecting, because I
see it as strong and weak more than anything.
Okay.
I mean, that is like, men are, to me, are supposed to be strong in their convictions, strong in their beliefs, strong in their feelings. They're supposed to be hard, and women are supposed to be soft, and I think that's the way of the world. That men should be hard, women should be soft. I 100% believe that.
This is where we're gonna get into it.
Okay, that's all right.
No, see, because like, I don't feel, for me, like, I mean, well, like I said, before him, it's always going to come back to before him. So I was like a rebel. I was someone that, like, you could not fuck with. Do not fuck with me. Like, I don't take shit from people. And I don't want to sit there and say, you know, I want to be a hard ass. I want to be a badass, but I will handle what I have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being a single person in a bar, like, not even just to come here and be a barfly and to, like, hook up with people here. I've only been with one person in a bar, you know, from here. And obviously my husband. But it's like, I see people trying to get with you, and then you're like, hey, I have a voice. I know you're not going to talk to me like I'm some piece of whore on the street. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. But I've also watched men, like, talk to women like they're just supposed to be soft, and you're not gonna come for me like that. And
well, I don't think that's the same thing. I still think
totally
that's an asshole.
You want us to be soft, and like, I could never be soft listening to men talk to people like that, especially me. Like, I've gotten into it with dudes because they're just, yes, again, assholism, masculinity may be completely different ends of the spectrum, but it's still one of those things. Well, you want women to be soft, you want us to be at home, you know, cooking, cleaning, whatever, but it doesn't work that way.
I'm not saying you have to be at home cooking and cleaning.
No?
My grandmother worked her whole life. My grandfather did make a whole bunch of money. He worked at Danco Metal Products. Right. And I remember his paychecks being $400 a week, $10.99.
Jeez.
From Danco Medical Products. And my grandmother worked at Spiegelberger Orchard picking apples for years. Yeah. And then after that, she was pressing clothes at Robinson Dry Cleaner right down the street from next to the McDonald's, next to my uncle's bar now. But there was a little dry cleaners in there, and she pressed clothes in there. She always worked a second job. She was always soft, though. Yeah. I mean, she had her cocky thing. Don't get me wrong. Right. She had her, like, I know directions better than you type thing. And, like, she was like, she was a little, maybe, especially for her, because that's my grandma. I'm telling you, she's gone now, but she was a little more, like, maybe cocky, like that, you know, like, thought she was a little bit, you know, what's the word? Like, I thought she thought she knew better. Like, but her and my grandfather are very competitive. Okay. Like, they would play Yahtzee every day. we would go fishing, and it was who caught the most fish or who caught the biggest fish. We walked down the pier from fishing, and it was who could get down the pier fastest. Like, there was always a competition thing with her, but she was soft. Like, my grandmother was soft. Like, I would never view her as hard for any reason. She didn't put up with nobody's shit, but I wouldn't view her as hard. She was a soft, you know, she was a loving, caring person. You know, men aren't. They're loving and caring to some degree. You know what I mean? But that's supposed to be a rarity. They're not supposed to be walking around like a faggot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's supposed to be like a rare occasion. Like, that's just like, you should be like, Alexa will tell you probably one of the things that sticks out to her is a day I sat down and played Barbies with her. That's not what I was going to do most of my life, but I did do it once with her.
Of course.
And it was a big deal to her at that time.
So there's always a balance in everything. So I always thought, like, talking to you was kind of hard because, like, you just had this hard shell. Like, I never really thought me and you would connect because, like, we're both kind of, like, very sharp, very, stern in our, like, approach. So I always thought me and you had a disconnect. But what is your soft spot? Like, I can see you talk to people in a bar a certain way, but when Amanda's around, you kind of get a soft spot. Not saying like you're weak, not saying you're anything less than of a man, but you do have a soft spot. Everybody has a soft spot.
Oh, I'm horrible, dude. I will fucking watch Boy Meets World and cry. It'll happen. I swear to God, that happens. I'm not even making that up. I like
100% agree.
Literally, that shit gets to me. I had a hard life.
Okay.
I grew up rough. People don't realize, like when I was a kid, I was like in and out of like the detention home, like in court run schools. Like, I wasn't a good kid. I was a bad kid. I was always in trouble. And I don't blame my mom for that. I think that a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was trying to live up to what a Tucker is supposed to be.
Okay.
Because, you're young, so you don't really know like the Tuckers, but my dad and his brothers, and it was just like they were always like just in so much trouble. Like they've been in prison for murder. They've been, they're just fucking crazy. They're just off the chain, and I just felt like that's what I was and had to be, and I just was a different person. And it took, actually, probably was my first wife, honestly, that I started to change, and it wouldn't even be with the wife. It wasn't the wife so much as it was Alexa. It was the day I took Alexa home. I'll never forget it. I'm young man. This is like 94 I'm talking. So I'm 21 years old. Gotcha. And I take Alexa home, and, she's laying on the couch or whatever. She's just had a baby. You're still squeezing iodine on your hoo-ha and all that stuff.
Holy shit. I don't want to experience this ever in my life. So, I will schedule a C-section right off the rip. We are not doing it.
So I go to take care of, Alexa, and she pees, got a wet diaper. She's just a little baby, brand new baby. Right. And I take her to this changing table. We had a changing table we picked up at a rummage sale or something. I don't know. And I go to use this changing table, So I put her on the changing table. I pull the diaper off, whatever. I'm changing it. All of a sudden, she starts shitting green, like while I got the diaper off.
There you go.
Now, mind you, up until this point in 1994, I had been to jail 12 times already.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a fact. This is a fact.
By 21?
Oh, that was just that year.
12 times that year?
That year, yeah. That year, I went to jail 12 times that year. Like, literally in and out of jail all the time when I was a kid. When I was that age. And I change her diaper, and the goo is coming out of her ass, and I'm going, this thing is fucked. Amit's dad? Like, it's fucked. It's fucked. What am I going to do?
Send it back.
But that's how I felt. Like, I'm fucked. Like, this is not cool. This isn't good. This isn't like, this kid is in trouble. Like, this is not good. And I swear to God, I went to work and never looked back. I didn't go to bars no more. I didn't drink with my friends. All my friends will tell you I disappeared when Lexa was born. I just disappeared. Yeah. And I wasn't out in I didn't go to bars again until I got divorced. I started going to my uncle's bar, and then when I got this bar. And I really never, I didn't drink all those years, nothing. I just went to work, paid bills. Like, I was freaking out. Like, when I first seen that, I freaked the hell out. I was like, this is insanity. What do you do? This thing it's screwed. It's screwed. You know what I mean? It really is screwed. And my mom, she's mean. Like, my mom can be a very mean person. So I didn't think I was going to get a lot of help from her. Right. Although I did get a lot more help than, you know what I mean, than I assumed I would get.
Grandparents be crazy. Like, they will beat you. Like, your parents will beat your ass for everything, but you bring a kid home, and then they're like, oh, they didn't do anything wrong. And
no, my kids will get their ass beat fucking with my mom. My mom don't fuck around. My mom don't. No, that's Darla. Don't fuck with her, man. She don't. My friends used to call her Darla Superfly Snooka.
She'll throw hands.
She'd throw hands for sure. My mom used to throw shit at me constantly.
Right.
Like, we lived in Pro Village when I was a kid.
Okay.
And have you ever been in Pro Village apartments?
I've driven through. Yeah, actually, I have.
So you know that little open window that goes between the kitchen and living room? It's like a drywall wrapped opening. I'm running for my mom, and every time she gets in the kitchen, she's chucking shit through the window at me. Forks, whatever glasses, whatever she could get her fucking hands on. She didn't, like, we would go at it. Like, she would, and it wouldn't be all that serious, but my mom was scared to death I was going to turn into my dad. She's like, I'm going to beat this out of him, I think, And I mean, it was just, so it was a rough childhood, a little bit for me. Some self-induced. I'm not saying that a lot of it wasn't self-induced, but some of it was too. My mom was worried about that. My mom, like when my mom originally started dating a woman, that freaked me out. Like that was like, what the hell is this? Because her boyfriend that she was with at the time told me that she was hanging out with a bull dyke. I'll never forget. I was probably Dylan's age. And I'm like, what the hell's a bull dyke? Like, I had no clue what a bull dyke was. Like, I'm going, what the hell is he talking about? And then he explained it to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you're crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
No, son.
None whatsoever. And then I seen him kissing in the parking lot. Behind the apartments, like in the back. And I'm going, what the fuck?
Well, this is my thing with, like, anybody who likes to be that way or whatnot. It's like, it confuses me, and I maybe call me ignorant. I don't want to piss off anybody, but like my whole thing with these like sex changes and stuff, like, you're lesbian, so you want to be girl. Okay, cool. So why are you dating someone that looks like a man? Like,
I asked Hannah that a million times. I asked Hannah that a million times, and Hannah said, she ain't a man when she takes her clothes off. That's what Hannah said.
Okay, so there's a reason behind it. I got it. But like, now that we're doing all these transgenders and these sex changes, and it's like, okay, so you started off woman, but hey, now I'm thinking, okay, now I don't know if any of this is normal. If we're using the word normal, I don't want to offend anybody. That's not what I'm trying to do. But like, you got a woman that wants to become a man, but then you have a man that wants to become a woman. Is that still a heterosexual?
I don't even know. Who knows, like, at that point?
At that point, it's like, is this like, what? How do we?
I mean, my mom had a friend when I was a kid. Like, I think that some of that stuff is real. I think that like some of that, like I feel like this or whatever. I think some of that is. I'm not saying all of it. Clearly, it's not, but some of it is definitely real. I definitely know that my mom had a friend when I was a kid. They were, I want to say it was Jack and Diane was their name, which is odd because of the song or whatever. But I think that's what, or it might have been Greg and Diane. Now that it might be the song, might be throwing me off. My mom would know. But he was feminine. Like, I mean, like, you thought for sure he seems gay.
Right.
And his wife was pretty bullish. Like, she was like pretty manly. Like, it was weird because it was a man and a woman, but they had opposite roles, but they were together. So, I mean, I think that some of that is real. I don't know that all of it is. I mean, and some of it has to do with situations and how it got you there, or, some people just don't like men. I know that there's somebody that I talk to that don't date, white men. They date men, but not white men, because they said that they've had bad experiences with them. So that
you can't
so
broad
people
spectrum that.
But that's what happens. People do. Unfortunately, they do. You know what I mean? And that's what happens with it. And I think the same happens with that. Like, they don't want to be. Maybe they don't want to be in that role where they're second or have to be feminine to their masculinity. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I really don't know. But at any rate, what I was getting at was that it was rough growing up. So I was like, so the hard shell I don't think is as much masculinity as just a little bit of protection, I think, to myself to some degree.
I love the masculinity aspect of protection, like where you can use it as, again, for me, I know that I can be a feral raccoon. I can be rabid as hell. I can be mean. I can be a rattlesnake. I can be all of the things because I feel like that's just who I am. I protect myself, but like I said, with him, he is my soft spot. He is my safe place. He doesn't allow me to have to struggle with my struggles. You know what I'm saying?
But he check you or no?
Oh, for sure.
He checks you?
Oh, hell yeah.
See, there you go.
The thing is, though, like, it's very rare that he does. But when he does, I'm like sitting in the corner going, why are you yelling at me? Like, he can raise his voice an octave, and I'm like, stop yelling. And I could be fucking feral. I could be going the fuck off. Never physical, but I get loud. and he just sits there and takes it because he's
You get loud?
no, no, not one time, no. But like he sits there and he's kind and he waits. But like I'll push a button and he's like, "Listen, we're done. Like fucking go to bed. I'm done with your shit." And I'm like, "All right, like, okay, fine. I go to bed." And then he's like, okay. Like our wedding night, I had 87 bobby pins in my hair, and I'm like, I can't get him out. He's trying to help, and it just turned into a mess. And he's like, I'm fucking done with you. Like, I'm going to fucking bed. We'll talk tomorrow. Like,
that wedding was nice. That was
thank
actually
you.
what you did out there. Like, I mean, it wasn't, nothing was like this extreme,
extravagant.
but it was so cute. Everything was put together
Fun.
well. Like, I went and I go, man, Christy really did. I don't know if you had a lot of help, but
I did. I had some
it
good
was
people in the
awesome.
corner.
I mean,
Like,
it really looked nice.
we had a very good tribe. Like everybody participated, everybody helped. Thank you again. You and Tex offered to do the meats, but we had already did the catering for that. But no, everything you guys offered to help with, we appreciate. It was thrown together. I mean, we put it together in 3 months. Like everybody was like, "Oh, she's pregnant." No. It was our 1 year anniversary. We figured it'd be the easiest way. If we were working on getting pregnant, I didn't want to be 41 having a baby,
So
But,
you are working on getting pregnant?
I mean, we don't prevent it, but I mean, if it happens, it happens. Like, we haven't had luck yet. So, I mean, like I said, if it happens, it happens, but we're not pressed on it. I'm kind of nervous about it now. I'm almost going to be 40. So, my time is like, I'm nervous about
pregnancy or whatever now.
But the wedding was put together in about 3 months. I can't thank everybody enough for everything that they've done for us. We had a great time. It was just 250 people. Like, where the fuck are we going to put all these people? How much food do I need? Like, that was my panic roll. And I did take a couple of days off work because you want to, but like, I felt so bad. There was a girl at work. She just simply asked me a simple question. How's the planning going? And it was like a week before. I just started losing it. I'm like, everything's a mess and this family's fighting and we're going to fight it. I don't want to do this. And I was just like, I'm going to cancel it. And I'm like, how do you tell 250 people you're canceling a wedding a week before? But no, it worked out. It came out.
See, you know what happened with mine, did you? You ever heard what happened with ours?
No.
So Amanda was having trouble. One of the problems with Amanda is she's from Willoughby. So most of her friends and family are all in Willoughby. So we were going to do it at Jeff's too. That was the whole plan. We were going to do it at Jeff's.
That's a nice spot.
It is a nice spot. And that's where my brother got married too. Angel got married there too.
Yeah, because
Angel
him and Brooke. Yeah.
So I thought it'd be a great spot. We had it all scheduled and everything. And I couldn't get a hold of her one night. I'm here at the bar. I couldn't get a hold of her. I'm going, what the hell's going on? I get home. And she's in the garage, pack of cigarettes,
crying,
down, half a bottle of Crown, down, just bawling, just straight bawling. And I go, you know what, Amanda? I said, we ain't got to do any of this. I don't even care. We could call Troy right now and we'll go wherever you want. We'll go get married. Yeah. That's it. We don't have to do any of this. And she goes, we could do that. I go, I'm fine with it. Don't matter to me. How many people did
you have or expected to have?
I don't even think she got far enough. I think that like as it was going, she just was like, I don't even think she got far enough to do that. I don't think, honestly. It was just too much because it was all on her. It was literally, she had no help whatsoever because everybody's too far away. Right. You know what I mean? And that, like now, if she was to do it now, she's got friends on our street now that may have even been there at the time, but we didn't talk to them. No, I don't even think they were there at the time, but she's got friends on the street that she spends a lot of time with that probably would have helped a lot, actually. We probably would have had Diwali and Mansa for our food, but they would have helped.
Yeah. No, I tell you, like, it's not that you don't want help, and it's not that, like, you don't appreciate the help, but you don't know what to ask for because your mind is going
there's too much.
7,000 miles a minute. And, like, he offered, baby, what do you need? What do you need? I was like, I can't physically tell you what I need right now. I am literally like fucking neck deep in all this shit. I'm trying to make projects. I'm trying to get this together. I mean, the night before I was up till 3:30 in the morning trying to do our family trees. I only got his done and I felt bad. I didn't get to put pictures on a fucking tree for my side of the family. Like just a little,
Doesn't matter. You nailed it. That shit was nice. It was so nice. It really was. Cute.
And I laugh because, like, Jeff, from Lads was amazing, always willing to help contribute. And then he's like, oh, I'll just charge you per drink. My drinks aren't, expensive here. We're not going to do high dollar, top shelf Patron, nothing like that. He's like, I'll cut you guys off at like $2,000. I laughed at him. I said, Jeff, do you know how many fucking people I got coming to this thing? I said, do you know how many boozers I have coming to this thing? I said, I mean, just give me a little bit more. I said, we're covered. My dad, Bank of Dad, thank you, Mr. Tolve. Love you. But I was like, you're going to need, just let me know when it's like 3,500. And he's like, you ain't going to hit that. He's like, Christy, you hit 1,500 by dinner. I was like, I fucking know. I told you. I was like, I got a lot of people here. And it was about 3,500 just for the liquor. And we tipped the girls pretty well. So, yeah, everything worked out. It rained that day. I lost it. I was getting ready. It started raining at 12:30. It was an outdoor wedding, like in Oberlin. And I lost it because my hair was taking forever. It wasn't getting done. I was supposed to meet him at 1:30 for pictures. I didn't get to the place till 3. Everybody was soaked. I felt terrible. And then he's texting me. He's like, are you going to come? Yes, but I don't know when. I don't know. It was a good day. It turned out to be nice, but man, it was stressful.
Well, I enjoyed being there. That's for sure.
We appreciate you coming. That was a good time. But yeah, so we're married now, I guess.
Yeah. And you got your roles though, right?
We have role. Well, see, we're gonna disagree on some roles here because we both do dishes. We both cut grass. We both provide. Like we both pay a bill. Like if I don't have it one week, he has it. You know what I'm saying? Like we balance each other out. It's not like you're demanded to cut the grass and you're demanded to wash the dishes and like.
I don't think that happens in I'll do dishes.
No?
I mean, it's not a lot, but I'll do them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do them a bunch, but I'll definitely do them. Usually if I don't want to argue or something, I'll just go do the dishes. So she maybe
leave me alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about the dishes, but like maybe we're arguing about, I don't know,
anything.
Where Dylan's supposed to do next or something.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know.
Right.
And she'll cut the grass. I mean, I do think like it's my job to cook on the grill.
Okay.
I feel that way.
I cook on the grill. So.
No, not my grill. You stay away from it.
Listen, I'm a grill master.
Listen, no, that's my
steak.
grill. You probably use a gas grill. See, we don't play that in my house.
I don't like the so all right, people are gonna yell at me and I'm gonna get ridiculed for this, but I cannot stand a steak in a cast iron skillet. I can't do it.
I don't do that.
Okay,
I do.
cool.
I'm talking about
like black
charcoal.
Oh, okay. So you're sitting there like roasting it for hours.
A steak? You know how long it takes
on a
to cook a
grill?
Yeah, you know how long it takes me to cook a steak on a charcoal grill? 10 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I don't know nothing about no charcoal.
There you go. Thank you. Leave it to the men, please. It's fire. It's outside.
Listen, he ain't
it's
doing
fire.
no
It's
charcoal
outside.
steaks either. Okay, he's not.
I bet he can deal with a
I'm
Weber.
sure he can, but he's not. It's not like we pull our little Weber out, sit in the fucking driveway, and cook steaks.
Why not?
I want that shit done. But my steak takes 10 minutes on a grill. I don't burn the hell out of it. It's medium steak done in 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I just said. 10
on the
minutes.
gas, though.
It takes 10 minutes on a charcoal, too.
Okay, well, we don't bring out the little charcoal. Like, we're just using gas. It's already.
Well, we don't use lighter fluid or nothing. I use a chimney.
Oh, okay.
If you use that charcoal chimney, you just put a little paper underneath it and light it. That charcoal's hot in like 3 minutes.
All right, well, tell Owen to make me a steak on a charcoal grill.
Oh,
today.
yeah. Owen, get together. Dude, what the hell's the matter with you, man? Be a man.
Whoa. He is the manliest man I've ever met.
Be a man and cook on the charcoal, bro.
So we were talking about how, like, does he check me? Yeah. Like, there's times, man. Like I said, he's my teddy bear, but he is also my grizzly bear. And not just saying for me, like if I need checked, but like he will fuck some people up. Like there's people that think he's just so quiet and don't like he ain't gonna mess with nobody. Don't fuck with him because he's got a grizzly bear attitude. And that's the thing that I love about him because he's so calm, but he also is like.
But you can't throw that. See, to me, that's part of being a man and not an asshole too.
Of course.
I mean, when you're in a situation where
100%.
where you catch a guy looking at your woman's ass, so what? He enjoyed your woman's ass.
Right.
She wore what she wore. Their ass is out there. And he looked at it.
Right.
Who gives a shit?
Right, no, right, for sure.
I mean, he comes up and smacks it. Now he needs his ass whooped.
Ass whooped, for sure.
That's different. But there's assholes that like can't handle that somebody's looking at their wife.
Of course.
I mean, that's a compliment. Your wife is beautiful. She's got a nice body, whatever.
Right.
They're looking. So what? That's not. There's nothing to it.
Right.
If you don't like that, then go whatever you call. What do they call those? I can't think what they're called. The lady down the street wears it. Amanda's friend Sandy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The garb, like the headdress and the freaking like you're covered 100%. I mean, if that's what you're worried about, if you're that type of man, then go be Muslim and like make your woman wear like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying if that's who you are.
Jesus. Okay, so here's the thing. So you want to be the man, you want to be the person of protection.
I don't want to be. I am.
Okay. Well,
just to be clear.
Hit that chest, Jimmy. All right, pop that chest out. Okay, so if like Amanda was out and somebody was disrespectful to Amanda, do you want her to handle it first, or do you want to just jump in and be King Kong and take over?
Because, no, I don't. It depends on where it's at.
Okay, because for me, I'm allowed to. Like, not allowed, but I am.
You said it. You said what you said. You said what you said.
Well, that's the thing.
You're allowed. Go ahead.
To defend myself until I don't have to, is basically what I'm saying. Like, he lets me go off, handle it, because I've had to handle many things. But there is a point where he steps in and he's like, don't.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've had that issue, like, just bullshitting with Tex. Tex gets to a certain point where he's too fucked up to even comprehend anything. And that's when you're just like, Tex, I'm done talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put that stop up. Well, Tex still wants to run his mouth. I handled it. You know what I'm saying? And then he looks at Owen. He's like, you better get your bitch. And then Owen's like, first off, she already handled it. She can handle it. Secondly, don't make me handle it, is basically what he told him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I appreciate that for the fact that he allows me to handle it to a point where he thinks I can't. And then he's like, you don't want me to handle it.
Yeah, a man is supposed to have control. That's part of what I think is masculinity, is having control, not being out of... To me, I feel like it's women's job to be uncontrollable and crazy and kooky.
Here we are.
That's how I feel.
100%.
And I feel a man's job is to be straightforward, stern in what he believes and run with it. And I don't believe that's... I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want to disgrade or degrade a woman and say that... she's not, but I just think that's okay for them to do it. It's not okay for a man to do it.
Okay.
It just never has been. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like you've heard them say it over and over again. The only things that are loved unconditionally are women, kids, and pets.
There you go.
Men aren't that way. Men aren't the same. We're not the same. Men, you have expectations. You just do.
Okay.
And women want to talk about masculinity, but they don't want to take the fact that there's a lot on that man's shoulders too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that, like, women get to be crazy, kooky. They could do whatever they want. Nobody judges them for it. Okay. They get it. Men can't do that. Men can't just if a man walks in here in pink cowboy boots and a frickin' frilly hat, you're going to judge him. If a woman does, you don't care. If a woman comes in jeans and a t-shirt, you don't care.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Men, you're going to be judged for what you did and what you didn't do.
Do you feel like women not... Okay, so I have two parts to this. Women who enjoy masculine sports or excessive masculine traits, such as I have women friends that hunt, fish, shoot.
It's sexy.
Change brakes. Okay, cool. All right, cool. My biggest thing with women and masculinity is when I'm all for working out, lifting weights, you got a very nice physique, whatever, you do competitions. When a woman has muscles out to here, that's
ridiculous.
when I'm like, oh, that's not enough, that's too much for me. But I enjoy looking at a nice physique. I tell Owen, I'm like, look at that girl's butt, look at her booty cheek, and he's like, oh, he'll look, but he's like, oh, okay, but he's not disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? He's never been disrespectful. Punta Cana, same thing. I was looking at some girl's butt, I was like, look at her butt, look at her butt. He was like, he'll look, but he's not again disrespectful. He's never ever been to a point where he's disrespected me ever.
I probably do when I drink too much. I probably get a little bad on that stuff. I've been disrespectful.
You say some shitty stuff.
Yeah, when I'm drinking. That's why I don't like to drink around here, because I really, for one, the problem isn't that, it's not so much that I'm an asshole when I drink. The problem is I don't drink that much.
Okay.
So I can't handle it. I'm not You know what I'm saying? It's not what I do.
Right.
It's not my normal thing. Like when I drank every day, like when I was first got divorced, my first divorce, I would drink every day. I wasn't that person.
Right.
But I was used to it. I did it every day. I knew what I was doing. Now when I drink, I lose my shit. I don't know how to act. It's like it's not
watched
good.
it.
Because I don't drink every day. That's not what I do.
Specific thing? Is it dark? Is it liquor? Is it beer? Is it any like that?
They've already proven alcohol's alcohol. There's people that say that certain ones do, but it's not true. None of that's true. It's all bullshit. People,
That's a lie.
no, it isn't.
For sure, it's a lie.
It is a lie. It is not a that.
Dude,
Listen,
I could tell you, I'm angrier on certain things.
yeah, but the problem is what you're forgetting is you pick to drink a certain thing
Yeah.
because of your mood.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Alcohol is
Or it's just like a
alcohol.
weird
Alcohol is
thing, yeah.
alcohol. It's what it is. It's
Yeah.
alcohol is alcohol. It's when I mean, you know, I see most people in here drink the same thing. Except Ogle's the only one that really switches up constantly. He's constantly doing this, that, the other thing. He changes.
Really?
But everybody else pretty much sticks to either vodka, whiskey, tequila, whatever, and they're always drunk and they're always different. They're not. It doesn't change because they drink something different. That's just not. No. It's literally you're in the like you come in. If I come in and I order Jack, if I come in and I order a Jack and Coke, I promise you I wasn't in a good mood when I got here.
Okay.
That's my like coping alcohol. That's what I do when I'm in that mood to like if it's Coke and or Jack and Coke. That's
your angry mood. Like you're already angry.
I'm not angry. No, it's usually depressed. I'm usually depressed if I'm drinking Jack and Coke. Something's not going my way.
Okay.
If I'm drinking Jack and Coke, something's not going my way. Typically, that's usually the way it is. And it's, you know, but I'm just saying, I think that it's more the mood you're in when you start the drinks, but people always, you know, a girl comes in and she wants tequila and she's not a tequila drinker. Shit went wrong. Shit went south that day. You know what I'm saying? It's not the tequila. It was the day that made her want to get drunk.
Well, that's funny that you say that because in Punta Cana, I don't drink tequila. Like tequila makes me tired. Like I'll fall asleep. I don't know. You hand a guy a 10 in Punta Cana, like they're handing you bottles of alcohol, right? So I don't drink tequila. He loves it. And I'm kind of like not a kibosh on tequila, but like, I'm like, you can drink tequila, but like I've picked you up from this bar drinking tequila and you don't remember nothing. Like you are out of it. And I'm like, I don't care. You can drink tequila. I'll pick you up, but like don't expect to have a conversation with me when you get home because you don't remember shit. Like I'm not gonna sit here and repeat myself 7 times. But like he never changes his character. He's never a dick. He's never an asshole. Like unless.
But he does this every day. He's a pro. I mean, he knows what he's doing. When it comes to drinking, he's a pro.
Sure.
That's
like
what he
needs
does.
to join the Olympics, like for beer for sure. Like beer for sure. And then like when he used to drink every day, probably tequila. Him and Haley could probably smash a bottle of tequila.
Oh yeah, easily.
On a daily basis.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I would put him on my drinking team any day of the week.
Yeah.
But no, I don't drink tequila, and the amount of alcohol I had in Punta Cana was wild because I ended up in the ocean flipping through the waves just because I was like, I just want to be a mermaid. And he's like, we need to go get some food. And I'm like, leave me alone. I'm living my best life. And he's like, all right. So he went and had another bottle of tequila while I'm sitting there acting like an asshole in the fucking ocean. So.
See, that's where men would get judged if they were in the ocean trying to be a shark. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about.
This is what we do.
This is what we're and that's okay.
Right,
but that's okay to have your like who you are. Like that's the difference. Like, you know, there's too much like being put on, but that's what I'm saying the difference is. Like women have that and they like shiny things and they, you know what I mean? That's women, and men aren't typically into any of that stuff, and they don't like masculinity typically. Even like when you're talking like working out, like you say that. I think most women look better thinner than they do once they've worked out and start getting broad shoulders, and it just doesn't. That's not that good of a look on them.
I mean, there's a tone body, there's a muscular physique, but when you got women who are literally as big as 300-pound muscular dudes, that's not sexy.
It's gross. It's gross.
Not.
Yeah.
That's too toxic masculinity, in my opinion, that way. And then like just the opposite, like. I don't care if you want to be who you want to be. You want to wear a dress. If a male wants to wear a dress and garb and whatever trends and, you know, all the things, I've seen comedy shows in it. It's fun. It's cute to watch, like to look at for a quick, like, okay, haha, funny. But like when you're more feminine than I am and you're like super, I can't like.
Why do all gay guys have a lisp?
I don't know.
It's weird,
I'm not
right?
going into this conversation.
Why do they have a lisp? I don't get it.
I don't want to.
Where'd the lisp come from? I know I grew up with people that were gay later in life, and they didn't have lisps when they were younger. You know Sean that used to cook for us here?
Wasn't he the blonde-haired guy? Like the black guy? Blonde
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Me and him worked at Campbell's together when he was a kid.
Okay.
Before he came out as gay. I'm not saying before he was gay.
I didn't know he was gay. So.
Oh yeah, he's with Tim. Tim's like you would never even know. Like Tim, the Ford worker. Like
right.
He's definitely like you'd never know he's gay at all. But yeah, Sean is him and Tim. They've been together for a long time. But yeah, when I was a kid, Sean he didn't have a lisp, and then all of a sudden he just got a lisp now. It's like, where did that come from?
He must be hitting a certain spot in the back.
I don't think so, because I think it comes out when they drink. I think they're flamboyant or something.
Right.
Something.
And it's like, it's funny though, because you can see many gay men that like will hardcore all day until they're around their group of people, and then they are allowed to act however they want to. How do you hide that so well? Like, there's some people, like you said, you wouldn't know is gay. He works at Ford. There's
some people that are like that, though, and not even just gay or straight. There's people that I know that I've seen, even in here, when they're talking to somebody with even a different accent, their accent changes.
Right.
It's weird.
It's weird how you can just like.
It's like, it does it, though. It's like it just happens. And I don't even think they're doing it on purpose. I think it just happens.
Yeah.
I think that some people are just more.
Because I feel like I would slip up. Like I'd be like trying to make a fake accent for a while.
I don't think they're making a fake accent. I think that it just kind of comes out like, you know what I mean? I think so. Like who they're around, I think it just kind of, I could be wrong. Maybe they are faking it. I don't know. Who knows? But I've seen it happen, and not just in the gay aspect of it or straight aspect of it, just like accents or just like, I don't know, acting like you get me around some of my friends from when I was younger. I probably act quite a bit different than I do now.
That's your personality, though. That's not you're not vocally like sounding different. Like you may act different around certain people, but you're not saying or speaking in a different tone or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends, like my friends from when I was young, like those are my friends forever. They're still like, we might not talk for the next 6 months, but when I talk to them, we can talk like we've been talking the whole time.
I got you.
Like Mark Blandon. I don't know if you know him or not.
I don't know people.
Like they go to Lads a lot. They used to go to Lads a lot. Mark Blandon and like Mike Indre. Like we've been friends for years. You know what I mean? And it's like, it would just. You can be normal with them. Right. Same with Guido. I've known Guido since I was 15 or something like that.
Y'all need to squash your BS.
It has nothing to do with me. That's all on him. I have no issues with Guido. He don't like that song or whatever. I don't feel like I did anything wrong.
Bring Guido. I'm not going to take over like every week because y'all two are beefing. Get your shit together.
No, I didn't ask you to.
Yes, you do. You're going to miss me next week. No,
it actually, I think, has gone well. I think. I don't know.
You guys got to get back together for sure. You mean squash whatever, but I mean, everybody gets their little tiffs and have their angers, but he'll come back hopefully.
Guido? Yeah. I don't know. He's weird. I don't know.
Guido.
He hasn't talked to Anthony in like 6 years, I don't think, or 5 years. Anthony? 40 years. They were tight. They were real close. They won't talk no more. They haven't talked over a piece of candy you got thrown at them.
Stop.
No, I swear to God.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if I'm being honest, he kind of was bitching about Anthony before that. Like, he was kind of had some issues with him before that, and the candy set him over the top. So maybe he had issues with me before the song, and that just sent it over the top.
You made him stew, man.
Huh?
You made him stew. He was mad. Stewing. It was
over that song?
Yeah, well, he had his issues with you when they were stewing in that song.
Yeah, just set it over that. Yeah, because that's what happened with Anthony, so it might be what happened with him. And I don't know why I would be. I don't know why he would have any issues with me. I never did that.
I actually didn't hear his song. I mean, I know that everybody has had a song that is not offensive, but, it might hit a nerve or two. But
they're offensive as hell.
I mean,
for sure, 100%. They're offensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're put a comedic, insulting rap. That's what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, that's what we're
Why doesn't
requesting.
he just do one back? Like, would you get mad if he fired back?
No, he said he was going to, and he never did. He said
Guido, fire
he
back.
goes. He told me that's insulting. I go, they're all insulting. He goes, wait till I make mine. I go, okay,
Please do.
and he just never did, and I never heard from
Boost
him
them
again.
ratings. Let's go.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't. That's just Guido. He's just how he is. He just shut. Guido is somebody. When you go masculine, not masculine, Guido's a masculine guy. That's who he is. He'll fight when he has to fight. He'll He's strong in his beliefs. He's strong in his convictions. I mean, he's a masculine guy. He definitely falls in that category. But the thing is, masculinity and all the different aspects of it, there's missing pieces. Some people have all of them. Some have missing pieces.
Right.
Some have, none of the pieces. You know what I mean? And some of them, but the part is, what I don't like is that society tells you to not be masculine. Like, that's a bad thing.
Oh, nowadays, for sure.
Yes, that's that's where my issue comes from.
Like, you're too masculine. You're doing this. Like, you need to be this. The whole.
You should have seen Alexa's playlist before Zach came along. I was stressing.
What do you mean?
Her boyfriends before Zach. Oh, it was stressing me out.
Her boyfriends?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I'm like, every one of them, I'm like, I have nothing in common with this dude. What am I supposed to do about this guy? Can't talk to this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were all like, just no masculinity in any of them. I mean, the one that she had when she was a teenager, I liked that kid, but he was about smart as a box of rocks. But I mean, at least he was, he worked hard to go and do something. I mean, he would do the stuff he was supposed to do, I guess. But he had some issues, like I'm going to kill myself type issues and stuff, too.
Right.
So all that stuff is just, I don't know. I mean, you get that. I don't know. I don't want to say that that's weak or whatever it is, but I feel like it is. If I'm being honest, I feel like it is. If you're sitting around going, I'm going to kill myself, and I just feel like that's a weak individual that, to me, a man solves a problem and moves on. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
You got a problem. Okay, now what's the solution?
What are you going to do about it?
This is how we handle. What are we going to do to move forward? And will it work? How do we fix this? And we move forward.
All right.
Whatever that solution is, that's what you do. You know what I mean? And then deal with the consequences of whatever you do.
I want to say, like, mental health is not something to joke around about, and it sucks when somebody is struggling with something that they can't get through. But in my actuality, I just want everybody to figure it out. I want everybody to be able to figure out their problem and solve it and be like, listen, I'm fucked up. I need help. Let me go get help. I don't want to take away anybody's, sincerity of it, because this whole thing with Bill, by the way, where he mentioned it multiple times. Someone tried to help him and it didn't work. Well, some people do it for attention, and that's sad. That's really sad. But, you got one person that doesn't say nothing to nobody, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's typically how it goes.
And it's a boom thing. Like, you weren't prepared for it. The night before, they're laughing with their friends. They're having the best time of their life. Nobody knows. And it's sad. That's the saddest part, is the fact that you don't know how to help them. How do you offer support? How do you help them? And even when you do, for them, in their mental, it's not enough. And nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to be that, stressed out, sad, miserable, and go through the struggles alone. It's just, there are people that, play that card too many times, and it sucks because, figure it out, but also don't make everybody else feel.
Well, the biggest problem with that is that I think that just this too will pass. That's what people need to realize. No matter what you're going through, this too will pass. That's the biggest thing with that, and people don't do enough of that, in my opinion. I mean, things are tough sometimes while you're going through it. You know what I mean? And they just throw their hands up, or they do this or that. My Uncle Dale has a poem that he keeps everywhere. Every house he's ever had, he has this poem with it, the Don't Quit. Have you ever seen that poem?
I'm sure it's been around.
Yeah, that's like on every wall, because he feels like one time he quit and he shouldn't have.
Okay.
And that man clearly don't quit now ever.
Right,
He's just constantly going. But there goes a perfect example. He's had a lot of bars and businesses through the years, and he's closed them. You know what I mean? When he came to the point where he made a decision as a man, this one doesn't make sense no more. He closed it.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He's a man. That's to me is the strong suit. That's what you should do. You know what I mean? That's making decisions and living with the consequences. That's the way I feel. That's a masculine thing to me to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what you're supposed to do when I talk leadership and stuff. I not so much the fighting shit. I know you bring up that. I think fighting shit is all asshole shit. And it's my experience, and if I'm being honest, my experience that women fight way more than men.
Okay.
It's also my experience that women's bathrooms are way grosser than men.
All right. Okay.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Do you both have a different bathroom? Seriously, in your house? You and Amanda have different bathrooms?
No.
Oh.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I used to clean bathrooms at Campbell's Buffet. I clean bathrooms here.
I got you.
Women are nasty.
Yeah.
Why are they so gross? Men don't like what are you doing in the fucking
First
bathroom?
off, not every woman is gross. Like people make sure that they leave a clean space, but there's some grimy girls out there. But there's grimy guys too. Like
Not in the bathrooms.
Oh, come on now. They piss all over the floor. Come on.
A little bit of piss on the
Are
floor.
you out of your mind?
A little bit, maybe.
Nah.
A little bit, maybe.
Listen, I'm not opposed to using a man's bathroom when I really have to fucking pee and there's a line, but I've gone into some men's bathrooms and they are gross.
But I'm talking about when you go into a place like my place, which is a pretty clean restroom.
It's all right.
And you go into like Campbell's when I was a kid, that was a pretty clean restroom.
Okay.
You go in there every day to clean it. The women's is by far way worse than the fucking men's.
Really?
Like for no reason. There's no reason for it. It's like, what the fuck is the matter with you guys? What are you doing? You know how many toilets have been broken in here in the women's restroom?
That's a difference in breaking something and leaving it a mess.
No, I'm talking about like because it's clogged up and shit like that. Like
Because people are dumb enough to put a tampon down a toilet.
there's a garbage can right next to it.
People are that stupid. Women are that stupid.
They're gross. That's gross.
Okay, I'm not that gross, so obviously I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I do not do those things. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. There are some just ratchet.
But that's a part of, like, to me, like, as a feminine, the women should be clean. They should be clean and pretty and smell good.
Well,
you know what I mean? And then you go in their bathroom, you go, what the fuck? Looks like the truck stop. I'm like, what the hell's going on in here?
I don't want to know anything. Why are we talking about bathrooms? This is your topic right now?
We're talking about feminine and not. Well, no, I think what I said was I forget what it was, but what was it? I don't remember what it was. We were talking about
versus masculinity, and is it toxic? Is it not? Is it like in today's society? Is it too toxic?
Yeah, I think that men need to be taught to be men more, and I think that the fact that there's so many single mothers raising kids probably plays into that role.
Right.
I think I'm unique. I don't think my mom raised me sissified at all. Like my mom was a different. Like she would just she would tell me to stop being a sissy or something when I was a kid. And honestly, I hate to say it. I hate to put my mom out here like this, but I'm gonna do it.
On blast. Let's go.
I don't think my mother ever said I love you to me until she took ayahuasca a few years ago.
What's ayahuasca?
It's like it's I don't know. It's like mushroom type stuff, like peyote type stuff or something. Okay. It's they say it's amazing. It's a psychedelic. Didn't calm her down, but she's different. She sees things. Like she hated my dad. She doesn't really hate him no more. You know what I mean? And she started getting off the phone and she'd say, I love you. The first time it did freak me out. My dad's always said love you when he got off the phone. That's just, all right, love you.
Love you, bye.
You know what I mean? My mom, I don't think ever said it. And she said it like maybe, I don't know, it's probably like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now.
Though.
And she said that shit and it threw me for a loop the first time. Now it's normal. She does it every time now and it's normal. But I don't think she said it my whole childhood.
Maybe she's
not that I could think of. I knew it though. I never questioned it.
Okay.
Never thought that she didn't. I always knew she had my back.
Usually, most of the time, like when they start saying those things, like something spiritually happened where they know. God forbid, knock on wood. Like maybe she found out something that she doesn't want to tell you, and like she doesn't know every moment is her last. You know, maybe that's kind of why.
No, I hope not. I hope that's not true. Maybe she just feels older. I don't know. It could be that she just feels older, and who knows? You know,
right.
That's possible.
Never know if something.
But you don't know what ayahuasca is?
No.
Have you ever done mushrooms or anything like that?
No.
No, I mean neither. I've never done it. They say they're good for you, though. They say they're good for PTSD and all that.
No, see, I can't remember. So, like, before, like, I worked here now, like, I took an edible once, like, with Haley. You know Haley from Maple. That's one of my favorite people in the world. That's one of my best friends. So, we were in Florida, and we had an edible. It was about a quarter size of an edible. I took half, and I'm laying on the beach pretty much dead to a point where like I have no idea how to talk, walk. She's like, let's go for a walk. I said, I watched my legs fly off my body about 45 minutes ago, like propellers on a fucking helicopter. I said, I can't walk anywhere. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I can't walk. I can't. Like, I watched my legs fly away. And she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't
said,
think that sounds like acid. That doesn't sound like weed.
It was fucking edible. It was in Florida. I don't know. I couldn't walk. And she's like, Christy, get up. I'm like, I can't. I don't have legs. That was a mess. But no, I mean, I can't do things that make me completely out of it. The psychedelic part. Well,
my mom said this is different. Ayahuasca, what you do, you have to do it with like a shaman. So she went to Kentucky. There's a shaman down there. You get a medical license with it. And a group went down there, and they have a bucket in front of them. When you take this peyote, well, I call it peyote, but it's not. It's ayahuasca. But you take it, and then I guess you puke. My mom calls it purging. You puke profusely. That's why you got the bucket.
Fantastic.
My mom says that after the fact, your life's changed.
Oh, I bet. It's
a lot of people do though. You'll find it, you'll learn about it everywhere now. Like after my mom did, that was the first I heard of it. My mom's kind of a beatnik. Like she's kind of in the like
hippie.
whatever. Yeah. She did it first, and I never heard of it, but prior to that, and then now I've heard of it all over. Like, did you see that movie with Will Smith where he was like not engaging and like what the hell was the name of that movie? He was like the owner of the company, and he like lost his kid or
Happiness or something?
No, that was Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, okay.
The other one where he was like the owner of the company, but he wasn't engaging and everything. I can't remember what the name of that movie was. So. But anyways, they mentioned in there, they said, oh, we've tried everything to get him back on track. We even tried this. Ayahuasca, they said it on there. I go, what the hell? I had never heard of it at that point. Now you hear about it all the time. Joe Rogan talks about it. Lots of people talk about it. They say it's amazing. Like it really will change your life, they say.
I mean, we all got some demons hiding inside of us, but I'm not trying to protrusive like vomit to get them out.
If you had to puke in a bucket for 10 minutes and change your life for the better, I got to take that puke, right?
Dude, I don't know.
How do you not puke for that? To change your life for the better the rest of your life? I'll puke in that bucket. I've puked for a lot less. I mean, right? I mean,
but like you said,
right?
Like 10 minutes ago, like it's a choice. You like you said, like with the whole mental thing, like make a choice, make it better, do better. Why do you need to forcefully throw out a demon out of your soul to?
My mom says it helps you see the world different, everything different. She changes it. She says it changes.
Listen, maybe you're onto something. Maybe these.
It's not me. The world is about it. It ain't just me.
Mental issues. What you just said, like, hey, take some of that.
Maybe that's what a lot of people are advocating. A lot of people are saying, stop giving us antidepressants and stuff. And give us psychedelics.
For sure.
They believe that. A lot of people believe that wholeheartedly, yeah.
I'm more of a holistic approach anyway. I work in healthcare, but I can't sit here and say that I trust everything healthcare offers. Like, I'm not. They
don't know. That's the problem. Nobody knows what the hell's going on.
No, because weed and mushrooms and psychedelics, anything that is opposite of a pharmaceutical company, they don't want to promote because they're not going to get their funds for it.
And they're taught the pharmaceuticals, and they don't even know what they're right about. Like they don't even know for sure. They claim they do, but they don't know. There's so much stuff that goes on all that stuff drives me nuts because like RFK bringing out the all the different things that they've done through the years to like mask shit. That's like, what are you talking? That's insane. Like that's the scariest shit.
It's scary. What are they putting in you? Like what are they telling you? You think like trust government? I don't trust our government.
No,
absolutely not.
And I read that Chaos book, and I changed my whole outlook. Like before that, I always thought everybody was looking out for the best. I really did. I'm gullible.
No. I mean, we all think they do.
I mean, I might be gullible, but I really thought that, like, they're looking out for, but there's things that go on. Like, for instance, with me getting caught with this gambling machines and stuff like that, that they're trying to put in front of the house right now to put gambling on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
On your phone.
Everything's on your phone.
On your
Yeah,
phone.
everything.
So they're worried about a small business like me, who I'm trying to just pay my bills. That little extra money helps me pay the electric bill and gas bill. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really does for me. It's not like I'm getting rich. Every cop that was in here that day looking over the place probably has a nicer house than I do.
Okay.
I would bet money on it if I was guessing. I would bet money.
But you live humbly, though. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have a lot of money. I'm not living large. People think I got more money than I got. I don't know why, but they do. I don't know. I don't have a bunch. You don't see me spending a bunch of money. It's just not my
frugal.
thing.
I mean, you can be frugal.
No, I don't. Okay, I could be frugal, but my bank account says I'm just broke.
I'm so broke. And that's the crazy thing. Like you said, you need 2 fucking incomes now to even pay your bills.
Right.
That's wild.
Right. I just don't have. I mean, I don't know. I'm dumb. I worked hard my whole life, and they don't reward you for that anymore.
For sure.
They used to reward you for working hard. When I first got in as an adult, like in the trades and stuff, working hard is all you needed to do.
Right.
Now it's different. Now working hard is not that's not the way to win anymore. They're trying to make everybody wants to make money on fees and subscriptions, and I mean it's absolutely ridiculous what everybody makes money on and where all the wealth comes from, and it's not from working hard.
No,
none of it's from working hard.
Middle class is not excelling at all. I mean, I'm college educated. I have an associate's degree. I mean, I have a career, but it's like, go to college. They say it'll pay off. They say, you know how many people are in debt because of college? Like, I think they need to support trades more. Like, the amount of funding they do for universities, same for trades. Like, JVS needs more funding for sure. Like, I mean, I know a lot of blue collar people that is the best thing they can ever do. They can come out, they're debt free, they have a trade, they learn things, they can actually excel in life. And it's like, oh, you go to college to get a piece of paper. Like, right now, everybody's like, oh, you're gonna get a bachelor's degree? I don't have no fucking desire to get a bachelor's degree, to write papers for 2 years, to pay another fucking $30,000 to write papers for 2 years. No, thank you. Like, my experience should count for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they're trying. I think that now the new order that's in there right now, like the new group that's in there, like Trump and Elon and stuff, I think they are firm believers in that.
Right.
I think they are firm believers that college may be a little overrated. You know what I mean? Especially part of what they don't like is that they feel they're teaching a liberal, a liberal group. They're just teaching too much and not the skills that you actually need. They're kind of building and framing people's minds in a way that's not. I think that's their argument with it. But at any rate, I think that you're seeing that more and more. But even worse, there's people that have college degrees that aren't going to mean anything because AI is replacing everything.
Everything.
It's absolutely insane. They have my attorney that I called about this. He was telling me that firm he's with, they do like when they don't have like all the paralegals and all that stuff chasing and stuff anymore. No, they just punch in.
Yeah.
He said they literally take a picture of the docket. They take a picture of the docket and upload it, and it spits back best case logs, best case study, best attacks.
What do you need
everything.
a lawyer for? Like, I mean, the thing that sucks about a lawyer right now, I mean, I know they paid for their degree, they've paid for law school, they paid for all the things, but like half the time you have your paralegals doing most of your stuff for you anyway. They have most of your research done for you.
But you don't need the paralegals no more. The AI
that's
does
what I'm saying. And then you're still like charging $900 an hour for a chat GPT document. Wild.
That is crazy.
Trust me, I question every decision I've ever made to get me into healthcare, but like, this whole new education system and the whole Common Core math a few years ago when I was helping one of, my ex's kids and stuff, I'm like, what the hell are they teaching you? Like 2 + 2 is 4. And she's like, no, but like you can do this and like add all these things and have all of this. I'm like, 2 + 2 is 4. It's always 4. Like we're not changing it.
That I have done when I found out what Common Core, I was irritated.
Oh God.
Oh, they're going to do Common Core. Lexa was like when she was, I was irritated as shit. And I start looking at it. I've always done.
Did it make sense?
I've always done math.
Oh, did you really?
I've always done it that way. I've always done that. In my head, I've always broke it down and put it back together.
Right.
Always done that. That's just how I do it.
I mean, breaking down an equation is different, but like now,
that's all that is.
So many things that change because me and my sister were actually in a real heated debate the other day, and she's a Taurus. She's just angry. She literally is everything is specifically her way. Like she doesn't see things another way. Like there's always, can there be a different option? So, you know, that stupid, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you know what I'm talking about, in a math thing. So it was like a question that was on the internet, and I was like, oh, I tried to, you know, figure it out, and I was like, oh, I got this answer. She's like, well, I got this answer. And I think our answers matched at first, but then somebody explained why. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm questioning every math question I've ever done in my life because I'm like, did I do this wrong? Because I don't even know what the real order is anymore.
That's the beauty of math. Math always, there's an answer.
But it could be more than one.
Nope, never.
But how do you know which answer is right?
Nope, math is right. That's it. It's right or wrong.
That's where
it.
I'm struggling
Math
with
is right or
life
wrong.
now.
Math is right or wrong.
Struggling.
English, there's questions. Writing, spelling, all that shit,
Right.
questions. Math, that's it. That's it. That's what
How
it
do
is
you know?
forever and always.
How do you know which one's right?
There's always an answer.
How do you know which one's
Because
right?
you can do the work.
Right, and you
can
can do
run
it
it
two
back.
different ways.
It doesn't matter. You can do it both ways, and if both ways don't give you the same answer,
There's a problem.
then one of them's wrong.
Right, but how do you know which one's right? This is where I'm struggling in life right now. Like, how do I know which one is right?
I've never done math where it came out wrong. I don't know
can-
what you're talking about.
Well, okay, so we came out with different answers with the
You said that first you had the same answer.
right, and then I saw the way that the internet told me to do it. It was this answer, and
You didn't understand what the internet told you to do. You were doing it wrong.
No, the internet was right.
No, you were, but you didn't understand what they were doing. You did it wrong.
Right, and I understand why I did it wrong, but you could still come up with okay, so you can come up with an answer.
No,
but
you
how
made a
do
mistake.
You know, I
You
get
made
it.
a mistake.
I made a mistake. I can
That's
admit
it. That's it.
But how do you know that answer's right? How do you know like her answer wasn't right? Is what I'm saying.
Math, because you can run the numbers back.
Right, but there's that stupid.
They maths,
Yeah.
maths.
Maths, but math can change.
Never.
Swear
it
to
can
God.
never.
I will give you this
I
equation.
promise you,
It's
it can't
bad.
change.
I don't know.
It can't change. I promise. It just can't. It
But
just
how
can't
do
happen.
you know your answer's right?
Because maths.
But
Because at the core of math, I can take two things.
come on, give me math because I'm not good with
At the core of math, I can take two things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to know how many things there are in something, it's there. The answer's there. There's two of them.
Okay.
That's it. That's math. It's that fucking simple.
It's not that simple.
It's 100% that simple.
I hate math. Like basic math right now, it's struggle.
It is that simple. If I show you two things right here, there's two of them. If I show you three, there's three.
Shut up. No, that's not
It's
what I'm
counting.
saying.
It's math. It never
That's
changes.
not what I mean. I just took a test the other day, like for my career acceleration, whatever. And I did this equation in 3 minutes, and there was 5 different parts. I got that question. I can't do basic math anymore, just because it's like, oh, my mental. I can count cards like it's nobody's business on a blackjack table. I can't do like a basic PEMDAS equation anymore.
Yeah, math is
Please
it's
excuse
absolute.
my dear Aunt Sally. Like that shit to me can go out the fucking window.
Well, all that shit is all bullshit. All that stuff is those were teaching tools that they used years ago. That's what that's all that
still
stuff
the math
was.
equation that we fucked up on.
I get it, but that's all. At the end of the day, regardless, math is absolute. There's no.
Right.
It's not questionable. It's absolute. It's not debatable with math. That's the wonderful. That's why I understand and love math. It doesn't
How
change.
do you know that your answer's right? How does a
Because
math
I can
equation
count.
know?
I can count.
I'm talking
and
about the
see
big equation.
If it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, you can still count and see the math is still there.
Well, that's not
It
what
doesn't
I'm
matter
talking
if it's 3 or 3,000. They're
That's
still
not
there.
What I mean, I'm
you
not
can
talking
count
about
them.
a definite monetary, like you can count it.
No.
But equations, like where you
No.
can do
Math
this
is
and this.
always definite, and you can count it. That's what you're mistaking.
We're gonna do math problems. We're gonna
Math is always definite, and it always adds up. It's always definite.
It's gonna add up, but how? Like okay.
It's definite. That all the different things like Pythagorean theorem. You know what Pythagorean theorem is? Okay.
See, I could probably do that equation better than a fucking like 2 + 2 question.
I get it, but Pythagorean theorem, he came up with all his crazy Pythagorean when he was
Right.
doing all his math. It came out of a simple elementary school math book because once he understood math, he
Right.
understood it. Same with Dylan, like my son, he immediately at probably by 3rd grade had a grasp on math that surpassed almost most adults that I know.
Right.
That's just, he just understands it. because it's just absolute. Once you understand it, it's absolute. There's no question about it. It's there isn't two answers ever. It's always one answer. 100%.
Okay.
It's not like, it's not English or like it's that it's funny you bring that up because typically men are better at math and women are better at English. Typically, it's a left brain, right brain. They say.
Yeah.
That's typical.
I'll walk into a room and I'm like, babe, how long do you think that wall is? And like, obviously he does carpet, so he's like, oh, it's about 8 foot. I'm like, nuh-uh. And he's like, he brings out his measuring tape. He don't even need it. He's like, that's fucking 8 foot. I'm like,
yeah, if you ask us how long something is, we're gonna know. When construction, for sure.
Y'all be exaggerating on a lot of things of what you think is long. So come on.
I don't know what the heck she's talking about. I don't know.
Amanda?
No, Daniela's asking me if there's somebody up here. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Oh.
I'm at a loss. You didn't order something from DoorDash, did you?
No, I didn't. No DoorDash from that house at 11 a.m. Jimmy, we've been at this for 2 hours.
That's what I said. And so you calm down, you relax. It's nice.
I was very nervous.
It's nice. You just sit and relax. I mean, I don't know if we got anywhere.
Probably not.
I don't think we did.
No, we did. No, for sure. Because like you're asking basically toxic masculinity, is it still existing? Is it too much? Is it
even real? My thing is I don't think it's a real thing.
My toxic masculinity, what I was referring to is the assholes that pretend that they're masculine when they have no idea how to be a man, is basically what it turns down to. It turns into, does a man know how to actually be a man? Does a man know how to provide? Does a man know how to be emotional? Does a man know how to be supportive? Does a man know how to be just a complete dick on this spectrum versus the whole masculinity of the abundance of the whole package? Because I feel masculinity has a soft spot too. Like, can you be soft? Can you be emotional? Can you be like, can you do all the things that a man needs to do versus just the people that think what masculinity is? And it's the complete opposite of what it is. Does that make sense? Like, okay, so yeah, you made
a lot of points for me right there. You said what a man needs to do.
Yeah,
because a man needs to do some things. That's the way it is. I'm opposed
to letting a man do what he needs to do.
A man needs to do some things.
That is true. And
I mean, but I do. As I was when I want to say there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. But then these fucking P. Diddy trials got me going. Yeah, there's definitely toxic masculinity. For sure. What the fuck is matter with that dude?
Dude's fucked.
Have you heard all the shit that he's done?
I've seen things that pop up. That dude's like, that to me is not masculine. That to me is weak. That to me, he has issues for sure. Like 1,000%.
Jerking off in a corner and frickin' taking a guy's cum and rubbing it on your nipples? Like, are you fucking kidding me? While he's banging out your old lady? Like,
fucking weird.
Blowing up frickin' Cuddy's car and all that shit they just put out yesterday. He was saying like that pretty much he lit that shit on fire. For sure. Broke in his house, all that stuff. That guy is...
Yeah, but that's
I don't know if that's toxic masculinity. No, I think that's just fucking buck wild crazy.
Like, that's a mental thing. That's another mental issue.
He's a creep.
He's probably had many mental sexual abuses in his life, and that's why he portrays it on other people.
Is that true? The abusers become the abusers?
Oh, for sure.
The abused become the abusers? I've heard that
yes,
that happens, but
that's the same thing as like if somebody's gotten kidnapped, they basically come to a point where they relate to their kidnapper and they feel sorry for them.
That's Stockholm syndrome. Well, okay. That's a little different.
That's creepy too.
It's not creepy. I get that. I understand that actually.
Really, you understand being kidnapped by somebody, and then you're like, oh, I can sympathize of why he kidnapped me.
Yeah, I remember years ago.
You should be on trial with P. Diddy.
I remember years ago there was a lady that somehow they rolled up. Somebody had, I don't know what he did, but I think if I remember right, I think he escaped jail.
Okay.
It was years ago. I used to, when I had the construction company going full blast, I would just watch the news. This came across the news and he escaped out of the jailhouse, stole the cop's gun, did all this stuff. He runs out and he steals a car or whatever, escapes. At the end of it, he finds some woman and forces her to take him in his house and he basically, some woman he didn't know, and kidnapped her essentially so they could hide out for like a week or two or something, whatever it was. And they interviewed her after the fact, And she said he was a nice guy. Like, it was like, she goes, I couldn't understand why he was doing these
Ted
things. 'Cause
Bundy
he
was a nice guy,
seemed
too.
so nice, you know, like, but he didn't hurt her ever. He never hurt her. He just demanded that she stayed in the house or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he never hurt her. But they got to know each other. You spend 2 weeks with somebody, whether you hate him or don't.
Right. You're gonna get to see like
You're gonna see all their sides. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's that one mistake you made, like that guy who's escaped jail or whatever. He made that mistake of pulling you into that house that day. That mistake he can't undo. He's there now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When he undoes it, he's going to jail. But other than that, you know, I get it. I understand that to some degree.
The whole
Like,
Ariel Castro thing. You understand that?
I do. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why he would do it in the first place. I understand why the victim starts to relate to the person that's
The keeping.
victimizing him. I understand that could happen. I could see how that could happen. I could see it. I mean, I definitely could see it. I mean, that's the only person you see or have any involvement with.
Right.
You rely on them for your food. You rely on them for everything. I mean, there's nothing you could. Yeah, I could see it, especially in Ariel Castro. That was how many years was that?
So scary.
Was that
Like,
10
you never
years?
know. That was over 10 years ago. I think that was probably 2010. It was almost 15 years ago.
No, I mean, they were captured for 10 years, I think.
Right. And
Yeah.
they were released. Like, from what I remember, I was working at Mercy, and it was like my first round of working at Mercy when I was an x-ray tech, regular x-ray tech. And it was like around May 2010, I think. That's when the girl escaped. But the fact that you are out looking for the girl that you captured,
Is that what you think?
that's what he did
Oh, what that was that? Yeah, that was the one. What was her name?
to Jesus.
To Jesus.
Yeah, but you were a
Jesus.
family friend looking for this girl, handing out flyers, and
Yeah.
she's in your fucking
I
basement.
think that happens a lot. I think they always say that
scary.
they want to be involved.
Yeah.
They like being involved.
That's
and a
wild.
lot of it is they like the attention, but I think a lot of it they like to just know.
Yeah.
Am I safe? Am I protected? Am I
Like,
good?
did they find her? Yeah.
Can I direct them in the wrong
Right,
direction?
right.
I
For
think
sure.
that kind of stuff is going on. That didn't shock me at all.
So I have
that's
a weird story because, like, I mean, I've worked downtown UH and stuff. I met some cool people, and there's this girl. She told me she used to do portable X-rays, and like she was taking this machine out of her van every time she had to do like home visits or like nursing home visits. She was on the shit side of Cleveland, man. Like, pregnant, probably 8 months pregnant, and somebody came up behind her and was like, "Hey, do you need help?" And he
Did she have an English accent? Just asking.
Let's
just
not.
checking.
So she's like pregnant. She's pulling this big thing out the van, and somebody comes up behind her, wraps his arms around her, and was like, "Hey, do you need help?" And like she turned around and she's like, "No." And it was Anthony Sowell, the guy that was like,
No shit, really?
and then he found out, like, he put his hands around her, but her stomach, she was pregnant. And he was like, "Oh, never mind," and ran off. Like, he was about to fucking kidnap her.
Wow.
Fucking shit, man.
That's
I could
crazy.
never. Like, so her baby basically saved her life, but like, she's like, "I ain't doing this no more. Like, I'm not going to fucking east side of
That's who
Cleveland."
Alexa used to work for, like the Nord Center, and she would drive people in her car, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let her have a gun or a knife in the car. I go, that's
Crazy.
bullshit.
I know.
That's just bullshit.
And I had a psych nurse that like had to go to home visits too, and she's like, "Well, I want someone to come with me," and they're like, "No, we don't have enough money for funds and stuff." And he's
I
like,
hated it.
I'm not.
hated
I'm
it.
not. She's like, "I can end up in somebody's basement. Like, you're not going to check on me. Like, we don't have anybody supporting me."
Yeah. And she had it where she's at now. That there was an incident that happened there. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to speak on it because I don't know, but I know there was definitely an incident where one of them went off and like attacked her or tried to attack her or whatever.
Yeah.
That wasn't in her car. That was on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
But that I hate that. But she likes dealing with the crazies. She likes it. You know what I mean? She likes that's. Like, she wants to help. She's always been
Wanna
that way.
help,
Like, she
but-
sees a stray kitten. She wants to like go. You know, what I mean, she's always been that person.
Right.
So I mean, I understand it's there. It's been inbred in her since she was born. She's always been that person. But it stresses me out.
I do feel like the healthcare system is kind of failing at this point. Like, these nurses that keep getting attacked on the floors, like, you're trained. Well, you can't fight back. They're going through stuff. What could you have done better where they weren't getting physical with you? Like, get the fuck out of
victim
here.
blaming. Yeah, like
You are
in the 90s,
out of your mind.
you never victim blame.
No.
In the 90s, that was a bad thing to do. Victim blame. Now, Victims are the only ones blamed. Like, it's literally, I watched a podcast yesterday that was saying they were blaming P. Diddy's girlfriend. What's her name? I forget. Cassie. They were saying Cassie went along and did all this stuff and was a dirty whore, and yet now she's trying to blame her pimp.
Right.
And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, that is like that like, clearly he's beating the shit out of her. We see him chasing her down, beating the shit out of her.
Drugs her.
Yeah, he's drugging her. You see all the stuff that he's doing. It's like, and I've said it a million times. When they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil, they should just arrest him there. There shouldn't even be a trial.
Right.
If you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil in your house, you should go to prison. There's something wrong with you.
Right.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, for sure.
There's something odd about that. That doesn't add up. But yeah, they're literally blaming her, and nobody says nothing about it. It's okay to blame her.
That's the justice system for you anyway. Like, I mean, you literally have an open shut case, and like you have the lawyers involved because that's what you're deserved to do. But it's like anybody that can clearly defend a rapist or a murderer, and I get it. There's people that are wrongfully blamed. I understand that. But like,
we're not talking about that.
No, I get it. But you have somebody physically caught in the act of raping a child, raping somebody, and you're gonna sit there and say, "Well, you wore that, so you deserved it." You can go fuck the fuck right off.
Right.
Like, don't touch me. Right. I don't give a fuck if I walk past you naked. Don't put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? It's just don't touch me. Don't like, and we can defend that, and the rapists and this. They asked me to go to jury duty one time. Jury duty. And I was like, absolutely not. They're like, well, do you feel like you would give a fair trial for this, and this? I'm like, listen, rapists, pedophiles can be castrated in a fucking town hall for all I give a fuck. I was like, I will not support somebody who's raping, physically assaulting, pedophile. Absolutely not. No. I will hang them by their balls in the fucking court.
Well, that's where we're at in this world. I don't know how you are. Do you believe in God, or are you religious?
I'm not very I hate religion. I hate church. Like, I think church is a cult, to be honest with you. I mean, I have my spirituality.
Some can be, for sure.
For sure.
But you believe that there's a God.
There's a higher power. There's a God, yeah. And I mean, I do more nature-based spiritual things for myself. But I mean, I do feel there's a higher power. God is God. Wherever you find him in nature, if you find him in a tree, if you find him by the ocean, wherever you find your higher power, because
I think that's the biggest problem, is the lack of religion in people today. I think that's my opinion.
I mean, I feel like religion has gone so many different directions because, like, follow what God says, follow what the Bible says, and then just watching shows or just being in church. Like, I was raised Catholic, but I kind of steered away from that just based on, like, you got priests, preachers, whatever category of religion you're in, you got raping young children, stealing from the church, multiple wives. Like, don't tell me you follow the word of God and then you're doing everything opposite of what the Bible is telling you. That's my
but that's the whole thing with that, is that doesn't mean that the Bible's wrong.
Correct.
It doesn't mean that you judge what you're supposed to do based on them, what they do. That has nothing to do with what you do.
Right. But don't preach it if you're gonna not follow it yourself. That's my biggest thing.
I could agree with that. But you can have, I mean, the Bible's still there. It still exists. It's an accurate document. There's no question. Everybody agrees that it's accurate. There's debates on what that means when they read it. So, I mean, but either way, at any rate, the lack of it is the problems that we have. And a lot of it has to do with, like, my thing is like this gambling that they're doing in Ohio. This online gambling, like in your phone, like people gambling, it's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Sure.
They're talking. I looked up the statistics. The states that have put online gambling in the phone, bankruptcy went up 28%.
For them? For that person?
For that state.
Oh, okay.
Bankruptcy went up 28% when they went online gambling.
Okay. So you're saying you want to utilize the online banking for that state because it does benefit other areas. Is that what you're saying?
No. How did you hear that? See, this is the difference between men and women. I don't know how you heard that. No, because you said
you went bankrupt. So if
I didn't say I went bankrupt.
No, the state. So if
No. 28% more people filed for bankruptcy. There was 28% more bankruptcies filed in that state.
Okay.
Because of it's like me, okay? Like I said early on in the show, I put the machines in there because it helps pay the bills. It's tough out here. You know what I mean? It's how I pay the bills. It helps pay the bills. So I put the machines in there to make a little extra money to help pay the bills. The state goes, well, I want to make a little extra money. I can make another $500 million if I put online gambling, but they don't give a shit what it does to anybody. It's destroying lives 100%. I mean, that was just that. That doesn't, the credit card debt that was up was way high, because the problem is, like in my bar, when I have a machine here, you have to have cash. You come in, you put the money in the machine, you play whatever. You run out of cash, you're done.
Yeah, because Keno now has like those Keno machines or lottery machines. They have your card. You can swipe too.
You can, but on those, that at least they're limited. You're limited to how much you can do in a day.
Okay.
But this online gambling, everything is credit cards. So people are just running up credit cards, and just like even with the sports betting now, it's running up credit card debt that they can't afford. And the state's going, oh, but we can make $500. But you're damaging lives. Like you're really literally ruining lives. And they don't seem to care.
Isn't that person ruining their life though? Isn't it that person? It's not the state. The person knows they have a gambling addiction, but yet they continue to do it, just like alcoholism, just like drugs, just like mental issues. Like you have an issue, but why are you doing it?
So how come I can't have it then? I just want a little help paying the bills.
So they're taking it away from you because it's hindering other people? That's what they're doing? That's why
gambling would be considered illegal, yeah.
No,
that would be the reason.
Like no, I didn't. I wasn't connecting that with that. But why you can't have it? Is it because of tax things? Like, are you not paying enough?
No, that was all Lorraine Music. That was all Lorraine Music. So Lorraine Music is very good about that. There's no question the taxes are paid. Okay. Lorraine Music does all the auditing of it, and they 1099 you for everything. There's no question about whether or not that revenue comes in that way. That has nothing to do with it. Now, there could be a question of whether or not it's regulated enough by the state. Like there's a chance, like I don't know how that works because I don't know the inner workings of all that. All I know is Lorraine Music offered to put machines in my bar and I put them in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know how all that works, but I suspect that like the casino, that the state casino board can see better what's going on, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But regardless of anything, if you've got the phone and you can put it on your credit card, it's damaging to you. It's more damaging. And you can say, oh, is that person doing that? Well, that's just a shitty way to look at our society. Because that now, if that's the case, you're preying on the weakest and the displaced, the more or less fortunate. That's who's getting, because you're talking about somebody making a logical, common sense decision. Right. Those aren't the people we're worried about. The people with logic and common sense aren't our fears. Our fears are the people that can't change themselves. They can't make that, you're preying on them. Right. So that the state can have $500 million more in revenue. But yet you're worried about all these small businesses having them. And let's face it, you go through Ohio, there's a lot of those machines everywhere. Oh, yeah. That's the only reason I agreed to it, because everywhere I went, I seen them. They're everywhere. And so they're worried about you doing it in your bar, which I think to me, if that helps us pay the bills. I mean, that's what it does for us.
Brings in money.
It brings in money. They claim they're going to do it this way and do it online, and they're going to create jobs. I don't believe they're going to create jobs. I think that they're going to take away jobs. I think that's going to take more jobs away from the casinos, from these places. Although the casinos don't care because
they're making their money.
Well, all that online gaming is going to go through the casinos. So the casinos will own all that online gaming. So they don't have to have you in sight. They just you're just at home, just racking up your credit card. Right. And they think this is a good idea. It's crazy to me.
What's the difference between? I mean, there might be a big difference, but what's the difference of the state preying on the weak, where we are constantly paying for everything, in my opinion, I feel like the people are still getting preyed on because they know they can work. They know that they should, but they don't. And we're constantly providing Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare, Like, like everything for people who don't work.
Oh, you want to talk about this?
Here we go.
All right.
I don't want to start.
I have a unique vision on this because I was raised on welfare in the project housing.
Okay.
We lived in Pro Village, and we lived on 30th Street in the 30th Street projects.
Yeah.
And I was raised on it. And my mother and her friends all went to college.
Did your mom work?
My mom always has worked since the story I'm about to tell you. Yes, she works now. Well, she did. She just broke her back. But anyways, when we were in the projects, her and her friends all got Pell Grants to go to college.
Okay.
And back then, if you did it right, and I don't know how it works 100% now, but I'd never messed with it. I don't know, but I know her and her friends, they would do it where they would schedule just the right amount of classes that they got X amount of money and the biggest amount of cash in their pocket too. And they all went to college. Well, none of them are on welfare today.
Right.
It doesn't matter. They didn't pay it back. None of them are on welfare today. None of them. None of her friends that did that, they all went to college and started to see a better life and moved on and did great. They all have not, I'm not saying they became millionaires, but they all supported themselves and took care of themselves after that and didn't get welfare.
Right.
My mom did that after she got divorced. You know, we were on welfare. And luckily that Pell Grant was enough to trick them to go to college. I say trick them, you know what I mean? But I think it influenced them a lot. I think that getting them into the college and seeing a different life, I think helped them. Because when you're in the projects, you only see in one life.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And that's part of that whole chaos thing. If you look at that book, Chaos, you know, about communal living and entering speed and all that. But at any rate, so you only see one life. So you get them out there, you're seeing a different life. And I think it's definitely has its place. When you said you wasted your time in college, and I think that it's good. I think it's good for people to do those things. I think for any adult becoming an adult, going to college is the greatest scam in the world.
Oh.
And I mean, for them, I mean, they're scamming the system. They get to go to college for like 4 years. Everybody thinks they're responsible. And they're just fucking around having a good time. I mean, you got to do your homework, but so what? You get to be a kid a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Why not do it?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? What's the point? Why not do it?
I'm not opposed to assisting people who want to better themselves. I'm not opposed to people who, need it. There are people who need it, but people who abuse the system is what I like. And I'm not talking about college. There's certain things with college I feel, should be paid for. If you're going to go better yourself to get a degree, then please do. But my biggest thing is like, I don't, and I never have, thank God, popped out 17 kids just to get a fucking check. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
I don't know. Do people really do that?
Yes.
You think that's a thing?
Are you really saying people don't do that?
I don't think they do.
Are you out of your
I grew up in the projects. I didn't see that.
Okay.
I didn't see that. I just did.
Well,
they had a lot of kids.
Okay.
They made bad choices. But I don't think that's why they did it. It was to get a bigger check.
1,000%.
I don't think so. I don't think the money outweighs what you. I don't think so.
Okay.
It really doesn't. I mean, a lot of people say that. You hear that all the time. And
it's not that it's not a need, and it's not somebody that can, assist where they need assistance, but it is an absolute scam. A lot of it is a scam. I watched people scam.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not,
Okay.
and I'm okay with it. I like the idea of people taking advantage of the system if they plan the system to direct them the right way. Like my mom was kind of suckered into it. Now they just give it to them. That was the point I was getting at. They give it to them. They just give and give and give and give and give and give.
The thing is, they give it to people, but they don't give it to everyone who needs it. And I guess an example, like, I maybe I was born, maybe I wasn't. I don't know if I was born yet, but my mom and dad worked their whole lives. My mom was $4 short on their earnings for a year, and she couldn't get, or $4 too much. I'm sorry, and they were like, "We can't give you assistance." You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was struggling. Everybody struggles. Everybody struggles to this day. But it's like to have somebody who's sitting behind a desk tell you, hey, you made $4 too much. We can't even give you assistance for milk or bread or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it destroys your feelings of the system.
Well, especially when you have people that are living in houses that are the same value as mine. Have a car, maybe not as nice as my truck. I do have a nice truck. Maybe they don't have as nice of a truck, but they have a house that's probably worth more than mine. They get assistance. They get free medical.
Right.
They get, and I'm paying $1,100 a month for medical, and I'm getting, I mean, that And then my medical don't even cover anything, so then I got to pay another $6,000 after I pay the $1,100 a month.
You're not frustrated with that situation?
Oh, I am frustrated with it 100%. I agree with it, and it's part of what this masculinity comes down to. When I talk about it, that's part of the thing. That one of the things that irritates me is all these. I'm a strong, independent woman, but they're collecting assistance and living in welfare, or like getting Section 8, and it's like, you're not that strong and independent,
right?
You know what I mean? They're married to our government rather than being married to men because they're too good to
because
put
if
up with
I
men's
get
bullshit.
married, if I get married, I take away my assistance.
I don't even know that. I'm just talking about the fact that they want to claim they're strong and independent, but yet they're married to the government, essentially. The government is supporting them.
Right.
I mean, that's just, to me, you're not that strong and independent.
I'm not on that list. So
you aren't on that list. You're not a good example of that. But there is a lot of them.
Oh, of course.
There's a ton of them.
How many kids did they have, though?
Oh.
Well, and that's in most situations. You don't find many single females that are on government assistance unless they have children, and that's why they popped out children.
I don't think that's why.
I'm telling you.
I think that's why they got assistance.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's why they got the children.
No. I'm saying that because the children help them get assistance. Because if they didn't have the kids, a single white female is not going to go.
That's just not.
There's no way. There's no way that a single white female that have no kids is going to get on government assistance. Absolutely not.
It's not true.
How?
I know people that are single or have adult kids that are on government assistance.
Then they're claiming a disability.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
There's very rarely that a single white female with no kids is getting assistance.
And they might claim a disability, which that's another thing. When I had my apartments, I had a 4-unit apartment building.
Okay.
3 of my 4 tenants, under the age of 28, perfectly healthy, all were getting disability.
And why were they not working?
They were all getting disability.
Exactly. That's the scams I'm talking about. Like,
no, that shit's ridiculous.
Not saying,
but they didn't have kids. None of them had kids.
Deserve some assistance. Everybody deserves assistance. Even us at this point. Everybody fucking deserves assistance. But how do you utilize the system to get assistance? How do you lie? How do you scam? How do you do all of the things to get that assistance? How do you lie on a piece of paper?
I don't even think you have to lie. I think what you do is you have to. Yeah, I think that most people that are getting the system, getting assistance and scamming the system, what I would call scamming the system, they're playing by the rules. They don't lying. They just aren't going to work and make more money than that. They're not going to work. Or they're not going to, like I've had guys come in here to work. I can't work more than 3 days. It'll fuck up my benefits.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can understand it. But that's the problem I have with charities and with welfare, because I don't believe that these people would drop dead in the street. I don't believe that. But they act like they would. If you did it, they would just be famine and fall dead in the street, and there's nothing you could do about it. But what they would do is they would go out and earn it. And right now, they will literally put their hands up because they have just enough to survive and they don't want to rock the boat.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I understand how they get trapped in that. I've never been much on having just enough to survive. You know what I mean? I've usually just have enough to survive.
Right.
But at least every once in a while, I get something that helps me out, or a little boost or something, and I can maybe buy this or that or something, usually every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, that's part of what I feel like is part of that, like feminine, like women, I think, need to deal with some masculine men a little bit. They need to let men be men.
Okay.
And stop pushing them to be women, and then wonder why they're not any good men left, but yet you call it toxic every time they act like a man. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking, you're explaining men in the bar.
It's the worst. Like, honestly, if I had to go back and date again, I would not. Like,
but men in the bar aren't your typical men, typically.
Correct.
That's not, I don't think that, if you look at the area around here, how many men do you think, and I'm guessing right now, live within, say, 30 miles of me right now from this bar?
Well, everybody that comes here every day.
But I'm just saying that within 30 miles, there's...
Oh, in general?
In general, what do you think?
Single men, you're talking
maybe
about?
80,000 men?
You're talking
maybe?
about single men?
Just men, men.
Well, you can't go after a married man.
I'm not talking about married men or women. I'm talking about men being men or women. Men and
okay, so yeah, you
maybe 80,000 if I'm guessing.
Probably.
Right. How many of the 80,000 men in a 30-mile circle do you think are going to bars on a regular basis?
are they single or are they not?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because if they're single, they're not going to go to the bar all the time.
The point, it doesn't matter. If they're men, out of the 80,000 men, how many do you think are consistently going to a bar right now? Married or not?
I say at least half.
You're out of your fucking mind.
No way.
There's no way.
Really? Because my husband's at this bar every day.
That's your husband.
Okay.
But is your dad at the bar every day?
He used to be.
Was he?
He used to be. My dad got a swift ass kicking, yes.
I mean, my dad did when he was young, but not mostly. Most men, I don't think, are at the bar.
Half the time I send my husband to the bar because I'm like, can you go away? Like, I know
think
you
that
want to be here, but
if I'm being honest, if I'm in my numbers, I think it's closer to 5,000 of 80,000 are going to the bar on a regular basis.
Is it the old men that can't leave the house?
Doesn't matter what men. I'm talking about men being men.
It matters.
I'm talking about men being men.
There's a lot of people in the bars every day. That's why you have a bar open.
It's not 80,000 of the men. It's
I said half.
maybe 5,000
5,000 in a 30-mile radius?
that are going to bars.
No.
I bet you it is.
Okay, no.
We can ask. We
wanna
can ask Chat GPT. It'll tell us the answer.
ChatGPT is not going to give you the right answer.
I bet you it will.
Do it.
It's pretty amazing. I can't. My glasses. I left my glasses at home.
Read. Let's see. Can't read today.
On a regular basis, you really think that every other man you see is going to a bar on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Every other man you see is going to the bar on a regular basis. You're out of your mind.
No way.
First of all, you know there's a lot more churches in that radius than there are bars.
Church.
There's a lot more churches than bars in that radius.
Oh, yeah. And
There is. There just is.
And you see these people just lined up at churches, right? And
I mean,
regardless if they're at church at
They're paying their bills.
Okay, work. Where do they go after work? Bar. Where do they go on Sunday mornings? Church. You think they're at church on a Monday morning?
I don't think it's half. I think you're crazy. to
No,
think it's
I'm saying
half.
within the whole, like, as a continuous, yeah, not like from this time to this time, but throughout the week, yeah, for sure.
On a regular basis. On a regular basis, that's going,
Yeah.
like, say, maybe, we'll say a regular basis is 2 days a week. That sounds regular basis to me.
To a bar?
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to consider, like, okay, besides work, besides your Sunday morning church visit that you're just mentioning, what are they doing with the other 80% of their time? Okay, yeah, they'll cut the grass, but
Cutting the grass. People have hobbies, believe it or not. Golf, fixing cars, fixing up rental properties that they have,
okay, because, I mean, that
watching
might
their
be
kids while their wife
slight-
works.
That might be a slight hour of the day. But for the most part, I think
No,
they're
there's
filling
people
their
that-
time.
that-
Mostly single. Single men will go to the bar more than a married man most of the time. But
I when I was single, I went. I never went before I was like when I wasn't single, I didn't go, and I wouldn't go now except I own the bar.
they're going to frequent the bar more because most of them.
But you're
are
talking
bored.
single man. If you
No,
said
I'm talking
single
about
man, I would say half. Yes. But you say all men, and no, there's no chance it's half.
There's at least 40%. There's at least 50%, 40,000 men, depending on what your radius
Okay,
is.
so let's change it up.
What's your radius? Give me an actual.
I said 30 miles.
30 miles
what I
up
said.
from your house to here.
From here,
but
30 miles.
all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that's Cleveland. That's Sandusky.
Half of Cleveland. Yeah, half of Cleveland.
Yeah, half of Cleveland. You're going to hit Sandusky.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
I just said maybe it's 80,000. I don't know if it's 80,000. Maybe it's 150.
Yeah,
The
it's probably
point
more.
is
Half.
what percentage? You think it's half?
Yeah, go to every bar. Every bar in
How about
Lorraine
we go
County.
down your street?
My street?
Yeah,
Right.
one street, one block.
My street.
Yeah, how many men do you think live on your street?
40? Maybe not even. No, that's a small street. I'd say 20.
20.
20 men on my street, yeah.
And you think 10 of them are at the bar half the time?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I live on a different street.
Yeah, I got a lot of kids.
I don't think anybody on my street goes to the bar at all, except me. I think I'm the only one.
Okay, can we say maybe they're not at the bar?
And I'm on a pretty redneck hillbilly street.
Are they drinking? Maybe they're
I
not.
don't know. There's a guy that has like a car, like works on cars a lot and stuff. He
Okay.
probably drinks. Most of them aren't. I don't think drinking is as big of a, first of all, I don't think drinking is a big deal anymore. I think
No.
people are smoking weed now.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think people want to drink. I think they like to smoke pot instead. That's part of what I think it is going on. But yeah, I don't. I will look at it when we're done, and I'll update people. But I say 5. I say okay.
5,000 out
You
of
say 50%. You say 50%.
And a 30
I
mile
say
radius.
8%.
I say 50%. Yeah.
You say 50. I say 8. We'll find out who's
If you
right.
go, from Cleveland to Sandusky, if you're talking about a 30-mile radius from where you live, I don't know exactly where you live in Elyria, so we'll say Elyria is your center point. You got a 30-mile radius. That means half of Cleveland down that. That means no bars would be open if nobody visited them.
They're closing pretty quick. There's a lot of them closing. There's a ton of them closing.
You're going to see most of the time, you're going to see a 10 to 2 ratio of men to women in a bar anyway. So you're going to see more men.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that, I think.
So lower. So every bar from half of Cleveland all the way to Sandusky on a regular basis. That you're not considering work, you're not considering your hobby, you're not considering church if you really want to include that on Sunday mornings. Yeah, I would say about 30 to 40,000 people, men, are in bars.
30 to 40,000
out of 80,000, like you said. But you said there could be more.
So you're at 50%.
Right. So whatever number
I'm
you
at
get
8%.
Yeah.
I think 8% is a hell of a lot closer.
Okay. Let's say if it is an in between an 8 and 50, what do you think would be the top number for you?
The top number
Like
that it could possibly be?
If you're lower on that, if you're 8%.
12% at the most.
Okay.
That's the most it could be, in my opinion.
So if you go through from Cleveland to Sandusky and count how many bars there are and how many people are actually in Lorain County or versus whatever, because that can take you as far as Wellington, that can take you, your whole radius. Obviously, we can't go 30 miles past north because we're in the lake, but that gives you every bar. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Well, but I'm not saying that I know how many people that is.
Right.
But I'm saying 8 to 12%. You're saying 30 to 50.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
That's a huge difference, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Do you think going to the bar is masculine?
Well, because then I would be a butch dyke myself. What the fuck?
I thought you were when I first met you.
Fuck off.
I did.
No way.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
I just didn't
I
like
thought you
people.
swung from the other fence.
Fuck no.
I swear to God I did.
I just didn't like people. And
I didn't
sure
think
as
you
hell
were a butch. I would have thought you would have been a girl lesbian,
Really?
if anything, but not a butch.
No, I just didn't like people, so people didn't approach me. And I
that
always
what
had
it
a
was?
resting bitch face. Yeah, I was angry. I was an angry
Well, I didn't
person.
think it was angry. It just, I don't know. That's what I thought when I first, I mean,
Because no guys would mess with me because I was always a bitch. Because I was like, don't fuck with me. That's why you didn't see a lot of guys around me. And
Yeah,
a lot
maybe.
of guys, like, from what I've been told, is they don't approach me because I'm not an easy target. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's easy targets in a bar. Like, oh, I'm gonna take her home. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if I see her in a bar, oh, I'm gonna try to hit on her. Well, they knew not to fuck with me because I was like, I don't fucking like you, and I'll punch you in your fucking face. So
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't approached by a lot of guys.
okay.
So, but thanks for calling me a lesbian. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that.
That's what I thought. I thought Tim was a criminal when I first met him.
Tim?
And Will, criminal Tim, I call him.
I don't know.
The one with the tattoos on his face. That rides with, he does the karate with Mike Ogle.
I've never seen him.
Oh, okay.
don't think so.
I thought he was a criminal. We called him Criminal Tim forever. And then Will, I was worried about him. Ramos, I thought for sure, Asalago or whatever his name is. I don't know how to say his last name.
Amanda's cousin? No.
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I was worried about him. I just looked like he looks
Oh,
like trouble.
yeah. I know who you're talking
know?
about. He just had a baby. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He just had a baby?
Like a couple months ago, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, he's cool, yeah.
The one that don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had a baby with that blonde that he's been with for a couple years.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I think she's like, what, 4 or 5 months now, I think.
No.
Something like that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
I know he was, I don't want to say trouble, but I know he put some on when he used to go to Maple a lot. Yeah, and then he whatever he got in trouble for.
I used to watch him. When he come in, I'll be like, oh, man, this kid's going to be
This kid.
trouble. I can
Really?
tell.
Like, see, that's funny because there's a lot of things I'm wondering if you miss in your bar.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Okay, I'm
the problem is I'm gullible. I never did coke in my life.
Right.
I've never done, so a lot of that shit I'm gullible to.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I'm very gullible to it. And unfortunately, because like I said, after Lexa and I never went to bars. I didn't go and do that type of stuff. I never went to bars. I never. Let's That's what you just said. What did he do? I did a lot of things. I watched TV. I did a lot of things besides go to the bar. I never went to the bar. That never happened. You know what I mean? But I was building a life.
You're referring to your situation. Oh, well, you're probably a rare few then.
I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. I don't think that's the case, but I could be wrong. You might be right. We'll find out. We'll Google and find out.
Google the chat GPT, get this all situated.
We're going to find out. We'll find out. We'll do the research and find out who's the closest. But we got to go because that's
a 3-hour event, man.
Is it 3?
It's been almost. Oh, it's
it is almost 3. Yeah.
See?
That's good.
Best entertainment you've ever had.
Yeah, I don't know if we got anywhere.
Probably not.
I don't know 100%. But I think that the world should change. I think that they should start letting men be men again and stop saying that everything a man does is toxic masculinity.
Right.
I mean,
I think there's a toxic femininity too at this point, with the too far, one way too far. Like men are dressing like women and all that.
I just want roles back. I just liked them that way.
Right.
I like having a wife, a husband. That's the way to go. I think it's better for the children. It's better for the.
Why doesn't Amanda work? Does she have like her own money, her own spending, her own, like, I know she does a lot with, your business and stuff, but does she, like, if she physically went to work, would that like alter your situation with it? Like, women should be at home, women should do this, and this. Because Dylan's like, what, 12 now? 13?
He's 12, yeah. He'll be 13 this year, though.
He can probably start staying home by himself for a couple hours or whatnot, or...
I don't know. Probably not in our neighborhood, but yeah.
Oh. You don't live in a ghetto neighborhood, do you?
It's not good. It's not great. It's not where I'd want to leave my kid there by themselves.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, when I say I'm broke, people give me way too much credit. They think I got something I don't.
Yeah.
I used to have a nice house and all that stuff. I lost all that when I got divorced.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, divorces.
I'm in one of my rental properties that I had eventually. And actually, I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere in my life.
I gotcha.
But it was one of my rentals before. But it's a nice house. It's just not a great neighborhood.
Are we going to talk about your party bus tonight? No.
Are we supposed to? I don't know. I don't want people.
Say.
I don't want people thinking that they're invited or something because we talked about it.
Take a VIP entrance, like you only get VIP access.
There's only so many seats, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
There's only so many seats, and we're gonna take it and go have fun. That's kind of like a thing for Ogle. I feel bad for everything he went through.
He did. He hit some shit, man. That's crazy.
I mean, I do feel bad for him. He deserved it. I mean, I'm not saying anything.
No. I don't think anybody deserved to go through that situation. I mean, he did not deserve that. Like,
he didn't deserve that. I don't mean like he deserved that. I mean, you deserve to knock up the wrong person when you take people home and don't wear condoms.
Right.
That is a thing.
You deserve a reality check.
Yes, okay, yes. That happens. And I feel like...
But she let it ride.
She did, but I feel like he should have known better. I feel like he should have questioned a little more. Like, but I get it because I never questioned her on a lot of... Like that I did. But I mean, prior to that, like, I never thought of her as like a thief or anything like that. And then I find out,
she had access to your place all the time.
And then I found out that she was like at Cracker Barrel. There's questions about what went on with the money, with the boxes and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I just found that out after all that happened. And I'm like, you know what?
I never considered that girl anything other than the sweetest person on the fucking planet. She was always willing to work. And I mean, we were all duped, man. I had my hands on her stomach too. I was like, oh, it's a baby. You're big.
It's such a big fat belly. Some kind of disease in there growing.
Gross. I mean, God bless America. Jesus. Fucking fluid-filled stomach because you drink too much. I can't. Like,
I don't know what.
Being in the medical field, I was like, she's enlarged. Like she's grown. Like she's got a belly. No, just how do you get your fluid to fill and there's nothing in there? Like,
I don't know. I don't know how she pulled that part off.
I don't know.
But I know that it only grew till October and then it never grew again. It stopped growing in October.
Like, she got hefty.
Nah, October. If you look at the pictures, October, when we did a Halloween party and you did the dad bod, she had got her belly up there for that. And then it almost, I would argue, it shrank by the time she was supposedly delivering the baby. I would argue that. But, yeah,
God forbid if I ever get pregnant, you know, are you sure you're pregnant? Oh, and you better go to the doctor.
You know what, though? I honestly don't think I would ever question somebody if I thought they were pregnant again.
Right.
That one
just a
was,
once in a
I
lifetime.
questioned it immediately. And I don't think that I would question it too often. I've never looked at somebody and said, oh, they're full of shit when it came to when they said they were pregnant. You know what I mean? It just never happened. So I don't think that that's going to happen. And I think that Ogle, though, I feel bad for whoever has to tell him they're pregnant. Fuck that.
Like,
I would just move.
right now.
I'd move to London then.
It's on a skip right now in front of me. We ain't fucking around. I will go buy you 5 tests right fucking now. You're gonna piss on every one of them. I ain't fucking around. We ain't doing this. Not me. But, you know, I get it. I mean, you have somebody telling you, hey, you know, I've been through this before. I don't need you to go to the doctor's appointments with me. But, like, wouldn't you want to? Like,
you know what? In all fairness, with Dylan,
you didn't go.
I went to the sonogram, the first, like the one sonogram for the 3D when she did the 3D. I might have went to one other one. I don't know.
Right.
And then I think I went with Lexa once.
Right.
And I don't even know if I went with Haley, honestly. I don't remember going with Haley.
Right.
So, I mean, you're working, you got to pay bills. Bills have to get paid regardless.
Right.
You do that shit in the daytime.
You can make
and you're
an hour appointment, though. Like, dude, you can make an hour appointment to see your, like, okay, you have other children, but, like, never in my wildest dreams would I think my husband would be like, I don't want to hear that heartbeat. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be...
Well, I remember when we did a 3D one, Amanda scheduled it after work because we were worried about bills. So, I mean, I just went after work and did it. You know what I mean? They do it that way. It's not like you can't do it that way.
And that's the thing. You work on your schedule together. Like, oh, hey, like, when can you go? Let's plan this. Instead of being like, oh, don't worry. I've been through it. I don't need you there.
Yeah, right.
Like, you can make changes to that. So, but even they have those things on, I know, Amazon. You can get an ultrasound thing from Amazon, and you know,
Did you know that?
No. I'm saying like a like to hear it, like to hear the belly and like to hear the heartbeat and stuff. Even just like a home sauna.
You could get that too. Oh, you can buy those?
It's just a little ultrasound machine. It's just a Doppler machine. Where
How much do they cost?
I don't know. Look at them.
It's kind of cool. I want to
like
do it.
$100 maybe.
We should check that out. That would be fun.
I don't need anybody. No, there's no noises that you need to hear in my stomach.
That sounds like it'd be fun.
There's no baby in there, so there's not gonna be no heartbeat. So I don't need you hearing anything else.
Yeah, but what else could we do with it? You got to be able to do something cool with it.
I mean, pulses and stuff, but
I don't care about that.
I don't care about that.
No, we want to do something cool with it.
But no, like if a woman is pregnant and they're at home, they can like just, you know, hear the heartbeat on a little at-home machine.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, yeah.
How did I not know that?
You could do it on your iPhone. There's a connection. I don't have an iPhone, but I know there's a connection to it.
Oh, you mean that the machine will connect to your iPhone, or you can buy something that connects to it, or
like
the iPhone
Doppler.
itself will do it?
Like a little, well, the Doppler, like you connect it to your iPhone, and then like all it does is like give you the heartbeat and stuff.
Huh. That's wild.
More to know.
What if it's all bullshit? What if you just plug in the Doppler and it's fake?
Oh, then you just hit a button.
And they're just playing a sound?
Boom, boom, boom. Dang, you've already put out there that all these bitches already know what to do, so now they're going to add all this other stuff and be like, oh, I got this on my heartbeat app. Here you go. Click, 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 click.
I feel for him that he went through it, but I do feel like, and I know it's not a popular thing to say, but I do feel like it's a little bit his fault, or a lot of it is fault. A lot of it's his fault.
Just tell Mike he needs to figure out his life.
A lot of it's his fault. I mean, I don't feel like he doesn't have to figure out his life.
The fact that you said like he deserved it because of all the times he probably was flirting with other girls in front of him, man, she was stewing, man. She was pissed. She was stewing.
She'd have cut somebody, I think, over that one.
Oh my God.
Do you think she would have stole a kid?
I do. Now that I've watched
I do too.
After it.
100%. I think she was. I think she was looking for one.
After she came out and it was, you know, obvious she wasn't and it was fake. And like when I had talked to Danny, because she had worked at Ladd's, she had mentioned that, you know, she was staying there and she's like, I was so pissed. She's like, I finally figured it out and I needed it was to be real. And she told me it wasn't. And the fact that she was still driving around with a car seat in her car for a week, like, only can imagine what she could have done, you know, grab a baby and go.
Yeah.
And then you hear it every day in a hospital. We get the codes every day. You got a psych ward and then you got a baby on like a nursery on the same floor. Psych ward is 3, nursery is 3. You know, you can slip their door. I mean, doors are locked for the most part, but if you get access, you grab a baby, you leave, you get a code Adam all the time. You're supposed to stop what you're doing and go to every exit. Like, code Adam is a stolen baby. I can only imagine somebody going through that shit, getting in I don't know, getting into a psych ward because that's where they need to be, but then escaping and then turning around and grabbing a baby and leaving. Like, I mean, it's going to be hard to get through the whole hospital, but they call it Code Adam. You're supposed to stop what you're doing. Go to every exit. Check bags. Stop a person that you think is carrying a baby. Like, yeah, you could fucking do that anytime.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's happened a lot. It happens more than people care to think about.
It's scary.
It's not good.
But I'm out. I got to get out.
Yeah, we got to go.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
All right.
I appreciate
Thanks
you coming.
For
It was
having
fun.
Me. It was a good time. Appreciate it. I'm sure I'll hear all the great things about your extravaganza tonight.
And you'll be your TikToks and YouTubes will be
I don't
everywhere.
have TikTok.
They'll be everywhere.
They'll be
YouTube,
everywhere.
Instagrams, everywhere.
All
You're going to
right.
be famous by morning.
I am? Oh, give me some money for this. All right, Jimmy. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Appreciate
peace.
It. All right, bye. Oh.
To the Madhouse, hosted by one madman.